Outlaw Radio. Outlaws, where are you tonight on a Monday evening? Fairly mild weather outside, but I'm hearing that we're about to get this Arctic blast. So if you can find a way to enjoy the rest of this night tonight, please do so. I think you should start by listening to this show. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the architect of the People's News Network, as well as the People's Network and Outlaw Radio. I'm the host, right? So for what it's worth. I am the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. This is what we do. Outlaw Radio, live from the basement. A lot to talk about tonight. As usual, please chime in, share the show. It is for the 414. You can hit us up. It's 262-202-5131. We got probably the most interactive chat room that's going in the 414. People always say, man, Kev, how you be putting that in people comments and they can call in? I know. I know. Commercial say ancient Chinese secret, huh? I'm not alone. I got my partner with me, man. Say what's up to the Outlaw family, Mr. Carter.
What's up? How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely gonna walk that motherfucking walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture, teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. Hey, mama! There go the sea moss, man. Y'all better come on in. Bring your ass to the House of Vitality, man. It's cold outside. The flu is going around. The cold is going around. All that shit. Come get you some elderberry syrup and some sea moss. Get yourself together.
There you go, man. Get right or get gone, right? I told y'all my chat room is popping off top. Look, we're 4 minutes into the show. Dion's in the chat room. He said hello. He said, damn. I think he's talking about because we were late. Hey, man, calm down. Jeff Crape, what it do, homie? He said, what up, Outlaws? How you doing, my brother? He said, D, this is Dion. He said, D is in the house. Mama Jenkins in the chat room. Mama Jenkins, I sincerely thank you for your generosity and your support on what my family and myself are going through. Really, really appreciate it. Man, I don't need words, can't even express, right? Like I'm a humble guy. When somebody do something nice for me, I have to give him credit, man. And she don't have to do it, but she's been consistent in her support of the show for years now. Come on, I can say years. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Mama Deborah Jenkins Simmons. The love is appreciated. It is appreciated. Yes, ma'am. Appreciate you. Ruben Anderson, how you doing, my brother? He said, good evening. What's going on, man? What's going on, Ruben? Hey, man, like I said, y'all, it's mild outside. It's Monday night. Mondays are always such a drag, man. It's like no matter what you do to try to brighten up a Monday, it's always a drag, right? I don't know what that's about. It's just one of those realities. Kamar, how was your weekend? I know you had wellness our way. How was your weekend?
Oh, yeah, everything was live, man. It was a bunch of stuff going down at the shop. But I just want to say one thing. I want to go back to the Monday, what you just said. You know what I mean? I like to say we don't really hate Mondays. We hate what we got to go back and do Monday.
Okay.
So let's start finding out what we love to do and do that on Monday. And you probably won't hate Mondays so much.
I'm doing what I love to do, and I still hate Mondays. I love doing Outlaw Radio, and I know we're going to do it on Monday, Kamar.
Well,
but it's just like the other.
It ain't that part of Monday that bother you, though.
No, you're right. You're right. And look, it's like I don't have like it's not like really stressful for me to like work wise, but it's just like it seems like this day just
it's off the weekend. You free, you fresh, you relax. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, but damn, I got to get back to it now.
5 days, right?
So that's what I say. Like we just hate what we got to get back to do. Go back to do Monday. You know what I'm saying? Really.
But I'm here, man, and we're all here.
Yeah,
every day above ground is a good one, man. And like I said, I don't like to complain. It's just like sometimes on Mondays, I just be like, man, shit.
Straight up, I'm feeling.
I should just work from home today. Right? That's what I say to myself. Like, but eventually I get moving. And then like the night closes with Outlaw Radio, so it's all good. Right. Silver lining. Mama Jenkins said, "You're welcome. I love good people. I appreciate that, Mama Jenkins. If your elder tells you you're a good person, you must be good.
Right.
Right,
You doing all right.
right. If an elder recognizes you, one of our, the black people who know more than you, believe it or not. Earl Henning said, only in a city hall where you can do a fucked up job and you still get paid a lot of money, and you think you did nothing wrong. How's the notorious? Okay, I think I know where he's going with that. Dion said, boy, I'm happy to be living. You and I both, man. No matter how much I complain, I'm still grateful to still be able to creep around here. Ruben said nothing much, just sitting back, soaking up the game. He says, sitting back, taking in a game, bro. That's what's up, man. Leisure time, man. Man, if you don't have a good time, what? So that's how they programmed us. That's Dion. Listen, once again, I want to say, and I have to say this because people who I've known for a very long time, so I've been on Facebook now. I was late on Facebook because I thought it was stupid. I got on Facebook when I got the show, simply because when I started the show, because Blog Talk required you to have a Twitter account and a Facebook account. So 10 years I've been on Facebook. All 10 of those years I've done some semblance of internet content creation. Call it podcast, call it internet radio, whatever, what have you. And I still got people who I've known for 20, 30 years to say, Kev, when is the show? Man, I be trying to catch your show. I don't know what time to come on. We've been on Mondays and Wednesdays now consistently for at least 7 years. Mondays.
I got one, Kev.
Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m.
I know you feel this. What up, Kev, man? I be seeing your show. Well, nigga, why you don't like a comment on a motherfucker or something? Share that motherfucker or something.
Share it.
You my guy. You know what I'm saying? Do something, man.
Come on, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook.
Hey, I'm a whole motherfucking content creator, goddammit. You know what I mean? This is what I do. Support me.
Been doing it for a long time. I watch you jump on new trends and new fads.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is incredible. We've literally been doing this shit for 10 years. Now, like I said, I got a lot of partners, man. I got a lot of partners really from back in my days, and they'll see me, and it's what you just said is so true, because they say, man, Kev, I be seeing your podcast, man. That shit be dope, man. I be checking you out and shit. And I'll be like, really? I've never seen you in the chat room. You've never called in. I've never seen you share the show. My YouTube numbers are horrible. Like, come on, man. You watching DJ. You watching DJ Academics. You watching DJ Academics, bro.
Right. You sharing that shit.
Right. I love y'all, man.
Chat room, all over videos.
Come on, man. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? But love's supposed to be reciprocal.
Help a nigga out a little bit.
Come on, man. Let's go.
We ain't talking to y'all. We ain't talking to y'all that already.
No. Because we have a core.
We talking to our other friends.
We got a core group of people. One thing I cannot say, we have a core group of people that's gonna rock with Outlaw Radio.
Solid.
They solid. And it's I can say up to 600-700 people who will consistently come boom, 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 and check the show out. But I got some people who I know personally who are like personal friends that I know don't watch the show.
Right. Then you gotta watch it. Just share it.
Do something. Do something.
Put a heart on that motherfucker and share it, man. Keep it moving.
That's why I don't go, like, people, why you don't go here? Why you don't? Because I don't like fake love. I don't want motherfuckers, hey, Kev, I love you, bro. I love you. Really? Right. Do you really love me? Right. Okay. Ruben said, is bro rolling up? I love it. I love bro. Keep it real, Kamar.
Always gonna keep it real. That's what we do. Yes, sir.
If you wanted to smoke during this show, I wouldn't blame you. If you wanted to sip something, I wouldn't blame you. If you wanted to just sit there and take it in, I wouldn't blame you. It's multifaceted. That is
it's like a Rishi cup. Eat it your own way.
Right, you know, how you want it.
Do it how you do it.
How do you want it? It's like I said, there's so much to talk about, and I said I wanted to start with some shout outs because I know you do the Wellness Our Way thing, and there's people who are essential to helping you keep it going. So I want to give you an opportunity to shout those individuals out. Give them their flowers.
Shout out to Flex, EPU Security. Shout out to Rail, our man's Rail on the show, Outlaw, with the emotional intelligence. Who else we got? Shout out to Kamanzi. Shout out to my lady, Ticey. Got to give a shout out to her. She there. Listen. She pulls her fucking weight, family. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere I'm weak, she's strong. You know what I'm talking about? Everywhere I'm weak, she's strong. You know what I mean? It's a perfect thing. But yeah, man, Wellness Our Way, man. Shout out to all the people that came and come to actually do some of these workshops. You know what I mean? Come and learn something that's getting something out of it. Because this is what I do it for. You know what I mean? Like all these brothers that come out, you know what I mean? To holler about getting their felons pardoned. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's amazing. It feels great for me. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm connecting the dots, you know, for brothers that come from where I come from. I'm creating a lane for them to make themselves better, as well as I.
Okay. Where's Rail? I haven't seen Rail in a while. I haven't heard. He hasn't been on the show in a minute. What's going on with Rail? I don't know. To do like the box. Where would you say? Where's Waldo? Where's Rail? Put a big picture of a bunch of people up, right? Where's Rail?
He probably finna pop up on the screen any minute.
Shout out to Rail, man. We know that we are right now on the edge of January because December, I believe it or not, is about to be halfway over. And with January comes Trump's inauguration. I believe it's still in January, right? I mean, I haven't watched one in a long time. But the things are about to change. White people energy is about to change. And keep in mind, you heard it here. I love it when we talk about something on the show and then I watch the story grow and I watch it turn into like the latest hot news, right? And so last week I was talking about Andrew Schultz, the comedian. I want to start with this because I think it's very interesting. Comedian Andrew Schultz. He made some disparaging comments about, number one, black women, number two, hip-hop culture, and number three, Kendrick Lamar. Now, Kamar, once again, I live in the podverse, so I've watched I always watch these things just kind of evolve. You know, it's something that you think is something small, something menial, and it turns into a social statement. But I watched all of the celebrities, all of the big-time content creators and whatnot have their say-so on it. We already had talked about it last week. We talked about what Kendrick actually means to hip-hop at this point, right? We talked about the need for some straightening because the culture is bastardized. Let's be honest about that. It's watered down. It's bought and sold. Even the intention of it is not what it once was, right? It's commercialized. It's commoditized. Hip hop changed the world. It became a commercial enterprise. Hey, if we're going to do a commercial, let's use some rap. Let's use the clothing. Let's use some of their slang. Let's use some of the personalities involved. Hip hop got his hand on everything damn near culturally in this country. And people who listen to country western music can say, not us, bullshit. A lot of your stars have remade rap songs. They've done collaborations with rappers. Stop it. You don't want to give Beyonce credit for being a country western singer. Fuck it. I get it.
We started that shit too.
It's ours too. It's borrowed, right? Okay.
They had no music.
He had classical music, but even Beethoven was black.
They didn't have that. They had no music.
You hear what I said? I said right. Even Beethoven was black, from what I understand.
Right.
So, but okay. So Andrew Schultz, and for me, because now the thing is, well, comedians. Come on, we talk so much about comedians, and a comedian's gonna say certain things because his or her job is to make you laugh. to entertain you. It's the court gesture. The king is going through some shit. Somebody make me feel better. Go get the court gesture. Make me laugh, motherfucker. I'm cutting your head off. Okay, so the jokes about the black women, okay. I didn't think they were, I thought they were disrespectful. I think anytime somebody that's not us makes a joke about our women, but I can say, because Kamar, to be fair, we did a show called For Shits and Giggles, in which the entire show was race jokes, right? Mm-hmm. We can appreciate racial humor. We can. And black comedians make fun of white people. Some of them, it's their whole act, right?
All the time.
I can take a joke. But when you go so far as to say, I will rape that man, I will make love to him, and there's nothing he can do about it because he's so small. When you start talking about that, it starts to put a whole different kind of energy in it. I don't even want to bring up buck breaking, but this whole thing about, well, I can humiliate a black man who's trying to make sense now by raping him. So it wasn't funny. I felt like it fell outside the realm of comedy. I felt like, once again, I stated this on the show last week.
Well, I don't care, but like outside of the realm of our comedy.
Comedy, period, is rape. What?
Well, because see, like, what's funny to us might not be funny to them, too. Right? Like, we got some jokes that may be funny to us. I can't think of none right now, but like, it's some jokes that we could say that's funny to us, but they will feel very disrespected. I don't jokes like that, right?
No, that's true. But I don't ever remember us being cool with a rape joke. With a rape joke.
No. I ain't saying that. I'm just speaking on comedy in general. Right?
No. Yes.
I'm just saying what's funny to some people may not be funny to others.
Push the line.
So we really can't say that's not funny, because to some people it may be, right? To us it's not.
I'd like to know who rape is funny to.
Rapists?
Rapist.
Right?
Well, hold on. That's not that. Come on, that's not. Wait a minute. The context of that is all out of place. Like, I don't rape. There's no race call or cultural identity. We're the rapists, y'all.
No, I'm just saying the people who would think it's funny.
You think rapists sit around and say, "Oh, that's hilarious"?
They might.
Oh my God. Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, only people that would be cool with it enough to find some kind of humor in it would be somebody that's cool with it.
I asked a question and you gave me an answer.
Right.
I want to talk about normal, regular people, though. I want to talk about tree jumpers, right? Okay. Because a child molester, that's like saying there's nothing funny about child molester humor unless you're a child molester. Then you say, "Oh, this motherfucker crazy. He my guy." Then I'm gonna look at you like, "What? That's funny to you?"
And see, to us, like, nigga, that's horrible. Like, that's foul as fuck. But to somebody who think it's normal, that shit might be funny as a motherfucker. We can't understand it. Our brain don't click like that. What that rapist or that pedophile motherfucker might, I don't know.
Okay.
Let's get back to it, man, because I'm taking this shit somewhere.
No, it's a plausible argument, Kamar, because that's what a lot of people are saying. That's what a lot of people are saying. Like, well, it's not funny to y'all. My question I'm saying is, well, then who the fuck is it funny to? Right. Because I can guarantee you one thing. As a man of color, if I take any kind of professional platform, if I take a widespread platform and I make a joke about a white man and say, because he's small in stature, I could literally take him, and he went into gory details about slapping his penis on his booty, and like, this in itself is white privilege in a box with a bow on it.
And see, now that's who else. This is who else will find it funny. Right, somebody who was raised in that white supremacy thing and taught about this buck breaking shit. Like, I bet you that would have been a funny ass joke to them a long time ago during slavery.
So then once again, we're talking about a subgroup who is unfavorable in the first place. We started with rapists, now we're going to white supremacists.
Yeah, the only people that could think this joke is funny is a foul motherfucker.
Both groups who are anti-people,
right?
Which is why this kind of message should be regulated.
Right.
Okay, here's the parallel, because I'm a comedy guy. Come on, listen, man. I spent I came up in the Def Comedy Jam era. I remember when HBO would have all the black comedy. They would get an hour special from Robin Harris. I mean, I go all the way back to listening to the Richard Pryor albums from the late 60s, early 70s, mid 70s, Red Fox. I've heard probably the most offensive jokes that you can possibly make. But I don't remember anybody joking about rape.
Right.
I don't remember
in our
and here's the thing. I remember Andrew Dice Clay, who was a white comedian who represented kind of like a greaser. And if you know the history of things, greasers were racist. The greasers that lived here in Milwaukee, and I got this from some old heads where they would say, I grew up here in the 50s and the 60s, and it wasn't about us having gangs. It was about us banding together against greasers.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bunch of racist Fonzies running around this motherfucker. And they would jump on you. You had to be ready to fight, right? There's evidence, there's documented talk of this, evidence of this. But I'm saying you're when you start to be specific, when you start to say, I will rape you because you're small. And for no reason at all, because if you listen at what Kendrick said, he didn't even say his name. He's not the only white comedian that makes jokes about black women. Kendrick said, laughing when a white comedian tells jokes about black women ain't cool, and that's law. He goes in on hip hop saying, well, you guys are the most misogynistic art form. You guys have done more damage to women, you guys. And I'm looking at it like, well, that's only a part of hip hop, not rap music, but hip hop. Because we have strong black women in hip hop who are respected. Queen Latifah,
mm-hmm.
MC Lyte, Yo-Yo, the list goes on and on and on. There are black rappers, there are rappers who've spoken for a very long time about their love for black women and their appreciation for black women. So not only are you misinformed, but ultimately you are a racist, or either you're sick, because like you just said, your comedy only appeals to rapists and white supremacists. Either way it go, it's some bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the most crazy things for me, though, Kamar, was to watch Charlemagne. Like Charlemagne, Breakfast Club, Charlemagne. This dude who is supposed to be one of the most impactful in terms of hip hop media figures we've had in 20 years. Sit, because nobody knows who Andrew Schultz is except for his appearances with Charlemagne. Right? Charlemagne has given him his pass. He invited him to the cookout. And I watched him sit on the podcast with him after this and say, oh man, like this is comedy. When do we police comedians? Well, we always police comedians. Kamar, we police anyone who goes too fucking far. I don't care what you call your job. When you go too far, you go too far. I referenced Andrew Dice Clay. Now, if you know, Andrew Dice Clay's humor back in the days was super disrespectful and misogynistic against women in general, white women. If really, he's a white man.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the biggest thing going for a long time. Then he hit the wall and he fell. And so this is what I'm looking at with Andrew Schultz. And I think even no matter who you are, Kamar, no matter where you sit, for you to sit with a white man who's talked about he's going to rape a black man, I feel like it's your responsibility saying, man, that shit wasn't cool though, man. You did a little too much on that right there.
Right.
Like everything else is everything, but you did too much. But now he's going to come back to radio, and now we're supposed to say, oh, we rock with you. How can you rock with, like I said, the jokes about the black women, because we do jokes about black women, right? Okay. But the whole rape thing is where I'm at. You know, it's like we talk about Charleston White. Yeah, he says a lot of shit, but it's when it gets specific where I'm like, hold on. When you say I'm going to George Zimmerman, your son, or you say a black woman ain't shit. When you single it down to a black woman, you don't say, boy, some crooked ass broads out here. There's some dirty ass women out here. There's some dog ass females out here that'll lead you to your death. When you say the black woman, period, that's when I say this shit is going too far and it's no longer funny and it's no longer comedy. But in somebody's case like Andrew Schultz and Charlamagne, I think there needs to be an example set. Because we keep talking about getting on Cole, right? Right? We just arguing about we didn't want to vote for Kamala because she was not black, right? Well, Andrew Schultz is not black, and Charlamagne didn't stand up for black people. So I think we need to set an example. What they say, guilt by association. That's your partner? That's your partner. You know, Kamar, have you ever been around in your neighborhood in your crew with your guys, no matter where you was, if it was us, it's us, right? And we somewhere, and all of a sudden somebody brings somebody else that everybody else don't really know, but they say he cool because he came with dude. When dude starts some bullshit, everybody say, who the fuck brought dude here anyways?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then he got to answer for his partner. Man, what the fuck you bring cuz over here for? And I feel like that's what we should do to Charlamagne. And I'm not trying to be emotional about it, but we got to show these dudes you can't straddle the fence, bruh. And we know he's done some crazy shit on the Breakfast Club that was, you know, I've always thought that he was suspect in some of his behavior. But sitting by this white man, and keep in mind, if he said this about Future, or he said this about Young Thug, or some of them dudes, I'd be like, all right. But he's saying this about a rapper who has totally changed this game back into what it should be, which is appealing and speaking to us about empowering us. Fuck all that jewelry, fuck all them Benzes, all that champagne, all that material shit is coming back down to him saying, I'm gonna make you think. Because when you listen to a Kendrick song, you gotta damn near stop it and break the bars down. Like, damn, oh shit, what he said, that was dope. That's what hip hop used to be to us. So I feel like Charlamagne should pay the price, man. I think he should be the first house Negro with his head cut off, figuratively, not literally. I think we should just boycott the Breakfast Club. Quite what we say? Hashtag boycott the Breakfast Club. We should not tune into this shit. Already, if you
got off the Breakfast Club.
Well, I haven't either. Come on, you right. I've been off
there, man. I start noticing how Charlamagne, he do be on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then in his mind, he think he asking good questions and shit. But no, they coming from a bullshit angle.
But listen to the music that they play. It doesn't represent quality hip hop at all.
Right.
They're promoting the bullshit.
The bullshit.
So it makes sense that he could sit next to this white dude and say, oh, man, you're right. That's so funny. And like what Kendrick said wasn't true. It is not cool for you as a black man to sit around with a white dude who's making jokes about black women and be like, he's so crazy. You shouldn't do that. You should, hey, man, hold on now. Even if it's your boy. Hold on, man. Oh, man, I'm just joking. Yeah, but you white. It hit different when you say it. Because I brought you around. What you doing is you're collecting ammunition. And let me say, the things he said about black women were so inaccurate about black women will slap the shit out of their men. They beat the shit out their men, and they stress them out. And a bad experience is a bad experience because there's some white women who'll do the same goddamn shit to you and call the police on your ass after she slap you. And your ass will be in prison. So just to say, well, but it was a joke. It was a joke, Kamar. So I got it. I was like, oh shit, that's crazy, right? So I'm just with this whole thing about be careful.
I ain't saying that you should think of it as just a joke. Is it just like how you feel uncomfortable with it? Yeah, it's okay to be uncomfortable with shit. You know what I mean? We supposed to speak up against shit when we don't like it. If we think it's fire, we speak up on it. You know what I'm saying? We talk about our own music. the sexy reds and shit. You know what I mean? We talk about that. Like, I mean, if it's something you don't agree with, you're supposed to speak against it.
But you know what, Kamar? In all the conversations you and I've had regarding sexy red, I don't never recall myself saying, "Yeah, that little bitch."
Oh no, man!
And that
No.
punk ass hoe, that little young
No,
hoe.
it's, we don't kick it like that.
No, right. So I'm saying we can talk, we can give our opinions, and you had a reel about this. About when did criticism become hating? I'll be watching your shit. I know you think I'll be watching your shit. So I'm just saying, like, and I'll tell you this: if you ain't from where I'm from, you can't necessarily say some of the things that I say when you're around my people. Like, you can't come to my neighborhood and say certain shit if you ain't from over there. People be looking at you like, "Hey man, who the fuck is dude? What are you talking about?" Right? So he doesn't have enough clout to criticize black people and keep moving smoothly. And he certainly doesn't have enough clout to say he would. And he reiterated this and doubled down on it. And when he did it, because he did this initially on his own podcast, and then when he got with Charlemagne, he doubled down on it. And Charlemagne thought it was hilarious. He said, well, Kendrick said what he wanted to say. Right? I didn't hear Kendrick talk about Screw and Drake. I didn't hear him say nothing suspect. You know what I mean? Once again, it ain't what you do, it's how you doing it. But we don't check people enough. I said we should have checked Michael Rappaport a long time ago. Vlad should be checked at this point. All of these white people who get together. This is what Lord Jamar was talking about when he said, you just guess. So behave yourself accordingly. And people went crazy, like, what do you mean? If you come visit me in my house, you ain't finna just come in here and do what you want to do. Man, I'm finna take my shoes off, Kev, and kick them up on the table, and I'm gonna lean over and fart. And no, bro, you disrespecting my place. You gotta go. You gotta get up out of here. You just a guest. You don't live here. So I think it's on us. I haven't listened to them in a long time. I have watched some of the interview snippets, depending on who's on there. But I'm not like in the morning when I'm going to work or I'm driving in my car. First of all, I don't even listen to Milwaukee radio, period. I listen to satellite radio. I find Milwaukee radio to be disappointing, to say the least. And I'm being nice. I find it to be very disappointing in terms of what's on there, the music that's played. I feel like I'm just like, no, there's no substance here. We are syndicating Al Sharpton and Tavis Smiley. I'm gonna get to Al Sharpton in a second. Let me go to Mama Jenkins. She said, I stopped listening to him years ago. Most of us have. I think maybe that's why he done this, Kamar. Maybe that's his motivation behind it, because he's like, y'all don't fuck with me anyways. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, because most brothers for a long time have said, man, I don't like dude. You know how many brothers who have encountered and had these conversations say, man, I don't like dude. I've never had a brother say, man, dude be on the real. He be kicking it, It's like, man, I don't like dude, man. Like, so maybe it's time for them to go, Kamar. Maybe it's time for them to go, Well,
it's everybody time is up at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like we was talking about Andrew Dice Clay, how he hit a wall. You know what I mean? People got fed up. Enough people got fed up enough to like, man, you know what? This is stupid. You ain't watching this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing could happen with this radio show. You know what I mean? You know what? This Breakfast Club shit, some dumbass shit. Fuck this shit. Just stop listening to it, and they end. That shit happens.
That needs to happen sooner than later. Later, right now. Look, if you about us, you got to be about us 24/7. You got to stand with us. You know what I mean? You got to stand with us. When my mama say, hell to Hawaii, you got to stand. You got to stand up and say, hold on, man. No, you doing shit. Even in the spirit of the show, I'm going to say, hold on, man. Dog, you tripping now. Like, I'm going to be that voice in the back saying, oh, my God, dude, what's wrong with you, man? You on one tonight, ain't you? Come on, man, miss me with that. That might be my last episode, but if that's the case, then so fucking be it. Okay? It's time to make a statement. turn that bullshit off and let V100 know. You know what I mean? Let them know. Like this ain't even right now. What he just did is he compromised the whole show because it's not even hip hop no more. That was supposed to be it's supposed to be a hip hop show, you know, but it's not. Once you stand by the oppressor like that and never even take the minute, like I said, he could have took just 2 seconds to say, first of all, man, let me just tell you personally, I think you went too far. Me and you been cool, but as a black man, I cannot support you on any. Like, he should have took the time to do that. He didn't even do that, which means he's basically telling us, fuck y'all too. So it's fuck you right back, Charlemagne. Boycott this cat, man. The cooning must stop. The buck dancing has to stop. The shuffling has to stop. Everybody else gets to be about themselves, except us. Imagine if a black man had came out and did this joke about Jewish people.
Mm-hmm. And see, and that's the thing right there, though. The Jewish people, they gonna make a stand.
That's right. They're gonna shut that shit down. What if I did this joke about a homosexual
take that
guy?
motherfucker off the internet and everything.
If I did that joke about a homosexual guy and said, yeah, this is what you like anyways, so I could just rape you if I want, this shit would be on fire. Yeah. Sometimes
now you rape gay people.
Right. Right. Now they're gonna make up a whole new term.
You know, but listen, Kev, that's also what they say. Somebody that could say a joke like that, you know what I mean? Like, dog, this the shit that's on your mind. Like, people need to watch you. Like, you got predator issues, man.
It is the introduction of the white Trump in energy. There's so much more of this to come in the next few years, Kumar. These sentiments right now, they're fake. White people have a fake war with the word woke. They like to throw woke on. Beware of white people who throw the word woke around. Because the basis for this is a person who actually wants change and wants to pay attention to people's struggles. He's woke. Even in their definition, they've tried to villainize this. This, for us, this was a term of endearment for years. Hey, brother, I'm woke now. I see what the deal is. Meaning you're aware of what's been set up to have us stumble, right? They've totally taken this and bastardized this. And I see a lot of y'all white people out there using this word and using this terminology. And there's going to be this kind of crusade against this woke stuff with Trump. It's going to ramp up. This is what you voted in, America, with 3 Ks. It's what you voted in. And so watch this woke shit, right? Like, because we look at this case in New York, okay, this murder of this black man, right? Who, let me find his name. God damn it. I had it pulled up. He's a black man, a black man. We covered this on the show a couple years ago, Kamar. There was a black man on he was on a subway in New York, and he was having a psychotic episode. He was, I guess, under the influence. They say he was bipolar. He had some kind of a diagnosis, and he was also, they said he was smoking synthetic marijuana. And so he was ranting out on the stage. I mean, on the subway, and there was a white guy. Okay, so let me get his name. Daniel Penny is a black man. The perpetrator was Daniel Penny. He's a white boy. So he's on the train. He's an ex-Marine. He sees this black guy, this homeless black dude. He's snapping. He's saying he's gonna kill everybody. He's gonna snap out. He puts him in a chokehold, and he's holding him until he basically goes lifeless. He chokes the life out of him, just like a George Floyd, just like a what's the big brother name? Out in the big brother out in New York who it happened to first, for selling the loose cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
And so today, I guess the judge dismissed the charges. Now, from what I read, I think that there's actually a strategy, because they said that the jury couldn't come to a decision. They couldn't come to a verdict, and so the judge basically like this is taking too long, so he threw them out. But there's some other charges forthcoming. Now it's basically the civil suit, and the argument was it second degree manslaughter and this kind of thing. You know, if you as an individual think that you are saving people, it doesn't require you to choke someone until they go limp. You know what I'm saying? There's other restraints besides a chokehold. This is, in fact, murder. This is murder. This is open and shut murder. You're not deputized. You're not a police officer. You can say, I did it to save everybody else. But if you watch the video, because there's actually video, he choked him until he was motionless. And one of the chart issues was they said, well, you can't prove that he knew. Like there's an argument about, well, did he intentionally choke him out or did he know he was dead? Because he left a chokehold on him long after he was out. And so white people, woke people are going to go crazy because black people are saying this is racist that this white boy was released. So I look at it as more like a double standard as opposed to pure racism. I think it's a double standard. I think that once again, white offenders and black offenders are not judged equally. But it's racist, but I think it's more when I say not pure racism because I don't think he went in there like I'm gonna kill this nigger. I just feel like he doesn't value black life, and him understanding his own whiteness may let him basically be negligent. I don't believe he set out to kill this individual, but he ended up killing him. I might be wrong. But when white people try to attach this to woke people, no, black people are going to trip off this because yet and still, a white man who choked a black man out and murdered him, there's no doubt about that, was allowed to walk on these charges. So do you think this is how do you do? Because I said it's not pure racism, but it is racist. I don't know. I guess I'm straddling the fence a little bit. What you think about this?
Say what now? Say it again. I
said, what do you think? Do you think this is the fact that they released him? White people are saying, of course, this is not racism.
Right. Well, you know, of course, it's a racial aspect to it. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say if it's hard to say if it's racist. The act is racist. It's racial. You know, you see what I'm saying? And that's foul in itself. You know what I mean? Like, and even if it ain't racial, if you kill a man by putting him in a chokehold, it's still murder.
Especially the way you did it.
Yeah, it's still murder.
Right. But your excuse is, well, he was going to bring harm to the people in the immediate area.
Well, you ain't the judge either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So either way you look at it, it's foul for him to let him go like that. We can make it racial if we want to, but either way it go, I think we'd be better off trying to make that manslaughter or murder stick. Because that's ultimately what it is. Like, it ain't a law, you know what I mean, to say, well, he killed the black man. Killing the black man ain't illegal. Killing the man is illegal.
Right.
And then now if we got him sweating him for this murder, now we can put that added incentive, like throwing the racial part into it. You know what I'm saying? But we get caught up in it talking about this racist, and before you know it, the whole shit over with it and got blew under the rug because we hollering this racist, if it's racist or not. But no, you need to be upset that this motherfucker getting off for murder.
Period. Murdering, killing another person. Right. Whether he's black, white, Chinese, right. Indian, exactly. The fact that he took another man's life is the biggest issue here.
Exactly.
The fact that he got
now
off.
Let the brothers in the joint figure out if they should handle him over some racial shit.
Well, the Aryans are going to protect him. Let me say this. The brother's name was Jordan Neely. We always have to say their name. Jordan Neely. That was his name. And I wanted... So he was charged with, they said he would only face 4 years for criminally negligent homicide and up to 15 years for a manslaughter conviction, right? It said that the jury had deliberated for an hour on Monday on a criminally negligent homicide charge. On a second-degree manslaughter charge, they deliberated for 16 hours last week before telling the judge they were deadlocked, and another 3 hours on Friday before they said they were deadlocked again. Okay, said the brother entered the subway and began acting erratically as he threw down his jacket and yelled at passengers that he was hungry and thirsty and didn't care whether he died. Witnesses said Penny, a passenger, grabbed Neely from behind in a chokehold and forced him to the train floor and restrained him there for several minutes. When Penny let go of the hold, Neely was non-responsive. He later was declared dead. I said that there was video. Several minutes of the chokehold was captured by bystander video. It spread widely when we seen it last year, and it said that you know. So once again, we go to the the Hyatt Regency Hotel here, where there's a brother having some kind of psychotic episode. What did they do to him? They choked him out. Right? When are these geniuses gonna say, why don't I just put him in a wrist lock? Like, you subdue somebody and then you let them up. You don't. So there's no law. There's no law right now that puts any kind of limitations on someone in terms of not being trained. First of all, you should recognize a psychological
unless it's you doing it to one of them. I bet you it's the law there.
Right, and that's when it get bad. So there's absolutely a double standard, and there's absolutely racial.
If you do it to them, it's murder.
Right.
You just killed a man.
You just killed the white man. Just killed the white man.
No, you just killed a man first. That's how they gonna. I'm saying that's how they do you. You know what I mean? Like, when you go downtown, when you go to jail, when you get arrested or something, they don't say you just killed a black man. Right.
You
know what I mean? You're going out here for killing a man, a person.
Murder, homicide is the charge.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
But in this case, but even if sometimes like brothers get manslaughter because I didn't mean to kill him, but his death was a direct result of my actions. That's manslaughter, and that happens sometimes, right? Unless it's premeditated or reckless homicide where you was operating with vicious and malicious intent. Okay, but there are racial undertones. So white people, don't get upset when black people call it out and say, nah, man, that's some racist bullshit. And don't put it on, this fake woke, this, once again, y'all, this is the energy that Trump brings. You're about to hear that terminology about wokeness and woke this and woke that. And you're about to hear this so much over the next few years. There's going to be an established agenda against people who want to speak up for civil rights. That's going to happen. This is what you wanted, though, America. This is what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? This is what you wanted. And so get ready for it. It's Sugar Free say, buckle down for the backlash because it's coming. And we're going to see cases. Once again, white people get super Brody. That energy that Trump brings, they get Brody, man. They want to make citizens arrests. They want to come to, hey, you come here. Somebody fuck one of them up. It's like, oh, poor guy. Let me see what's in the chat room. He said, Ruben Anderson said, Bridget Phillips. Now, who's Bridget Phillips? I'm not familiar with her. This is Mama Jenkins. She said, I missed the Black Eagle, Joe Madison. I don't think I ever really got to enjoy the Black Eagle. I think he was a little ahead of my time. I heard a lot about him, just like my other guy from DC, but then I lost it for him. The one who they made the movie about that Don Cheadle played, Green. I forget his name, but the dude eating the watermelon, that's when I kind of lost it for him. I said, I don't know. Not going to be doing that. I forget his name. Green. His last name was Green. What's the movie Talk to Me they made about his life? He talked himself out of prison and became this superstar, and then he worked his way up to being on the Tonight Show, and then he bombed on the Tonight Show, and then he just kind of went down, and then he died. But he was an important voice in the 70s in DC. You see, the other latest big news is that Jay-Z now has been accused of rape. 13-year-old white girl says Jay-Z and Diddy sexually assaulted her at a after party. I don't know why you were at an after party and you 13, but that's neither here nor there, right?
If she was at that after party, they need to be talking to her parents.
Yeah.
First, right? Yeah. Hey, but what I did see is like what you don't normally see is like he came out and made a statement. Remember we talked about that? Motherfuckers coming out making statements. He came out and made a statement, and he said, I wish a motherfucker would try to sue me, try to get some money out of this. I come up from the Marcy Projects. I don't kick it like that. Fuck a civil suit. Let's do the real thing. I can't wait to fight this one.
Yeah, he made a statement right away, and Kamar, that was my argument. Well, that was everybody's argument. Ernest made that point so lovely on the show, saying, well, if Jaguar's lying, how come ain't nobody came at her? Now Jay-Z,
but he didn't say nothing to her.
They did send a cease and desist on the show she was on.
Oh, okay.
They did the white, what's his name? Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
They did send a cease and desist. He had to take all that shit down.
Damn.
Yeah. So the lawyers did say, yo, come on, son. But now with this thing, it's a bunch of different ways to look at this. Because we all look back.
They was looking into him for murder for hire.
Say that again.
At first, I said I thought they was looking at him for murder for hire at first because I was watching a story with this brother who he got his guy Tay Tay, Jay-Z guy Tay Tay. He had a partner named Tay Tay, right, or Ty Ty or something like that.
Ty Ty, yeah, Ty Ty.
But they was cool with each other, and he done came out and he was talking about how Jay-Z done put some money on him. He got a recording of him talking to a nigga on the phone who Jay-Z actually paid. But I don't know how true this shit is. I'm just saying, I was watching the video about this, and that's what I thought they were sweating him for at first.
I think him and Ty Ty are still friends. Are you talking about DeHaven, his other guy?
Well, DeHaven a part of it.
Okay.
It's Ty Ty, DeHaven, and it's another nigga. I forgot his name.
Because he keep that dude Ty Ty with him.
Forever he been around.
He's always been around him. That's interesting.
Said Ty Ty was the one who actually paid the money.
Okay.
That's what the nigga was saying. You know what I mean? But all that shit could be fabricated or whatever.
A lot of
and that's the type of shit. But I was just finna say, but like when stuff be like that, like it ain't official, like no, I ain't finna put no energy towards this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But now somebody talking about putting on a lawsuit, filing a lawsuit saying this. Well, shit, yeah, come on, because I ain't did a goddamn thing.
Well, yeah, that's what the point we were making, that that.
But that was the difference then, though. They was talking about Jaguar Wright. Like, how come nobody come out and say nothing to her? And me and you were saying, well, she ain't nobody.
Well, also, she didn't make. Okay, so here's the thing. This has been, this is a court proceeding. What Jaguar was doing was just running her mouth, and that's what we were saying. Like this don't got no real merit. This ain't nothing legal. Right, like she's not like. But he's saying his response is saying that there was an attempt to blackmail him.
Yeah, exactly. The lawyer got at him. The same lawyer that got all the other motherfuckers. He called the lawyer ambulance chaser and shit.
Okay.
He got at the lawyer and everything. He talked shit about the lawyer and everything.
I got to say this. If Jay know he ain't do nothing, and he knows that if we take this, he said he want to go to trial.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That means she got to get on stand and look him in his face, right? And say, you did this to me. So I feel like he's smarter than if he was guilty, he would have just settled out of court.
Right.
That's what Puff tried to do.
Right. Only Puff tried late.
With Cassie, he
Puff said no. Hey, Puff said no at first. And then they filed the shit and then they paid her.
Right. But he tried to pay it.
Yeah. Late. He was late.
Just the floodgates. It was too late. The floodgates just opened up on his ass. Right. But I'm saying the state, I kind of think that there's no merit to this if Jay-Z is saying, nah, let's go to trial.
You straight up.
Let's go. I'm ready. Right. Yeah. Like, so it's just a coincidence that he gets to this billionaire status but the evil that men do, man, like we came from an era, Kamar, where it wasn't no social media. Cats
Right.
didn't have cameras like that.
Right.
You know, people weren't as quick to be as talkative if they felt like, okay, I'm in a clique, right? I'm in an exclusive. I'm almost like a secret society. Like I'm not gonna be going around talking about what we doing because I want to continue to enjoy the perks, right? That's a little bit, it's different now because everything now is about 5 minutes of fame and clicks and likes and follows and all this kind of shit. So I don't know what they did, what they were doing back in the 90s. Look, I know we didn't have as much money as they did, and I know we partied, right? We kicked it. Not on no rape shit. Not on no, but I'm saying we partied. Like it was parties where cats, man, call the strippers, call the, you know what I mean? You invited the girls who you knew was what the white boys say DTF.
Right.
You know what I mean? You say, man, call them and tell her to bring her girls. But it, you know, so I don't know what they did back then, but I do look at the fact that for some reason, Aaliyah, who was, you know, allegedly, R. Kelly married her when she was what, 15? So we're talking about 1993, 94. If we go 4 years later, 98, she's 18, 19. But it's so coincidental that Jay was in love with her. Dame Dash was in love with her. Timberland came out and said he was in love with her. DMX loved her. And I'm like, how's all these dudes?
Right.
I've said this before. It's a little controversial. I look at Aaliyah and I say, she was attractive to a certain degree.
Right.
But she didn't have the body. She wasn't. When you think come on, think about 90s fine.
Hey, you think maybe business has something to do with it too, though? Because if all them people had her on their team, either one of them, that's you know what I mean? Like that's probably a little DMX, maybe not so much thinking like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But just to have her on their team, like, cause she was finna be the next big thing. Remember?
But she was already she was huge.
She was finna be the Beyonce.
She was huge already. Kamar, she was already at the top of her. Okay, so I'm hearing what you're saying, but R. Kelly, she was signed to him. So she was on your team. She wasn't signed to Rockefeller.
Well, that's probably
she wasn't signed to Jay-Z.
Right.
She wasn't even signed to Timberland. She was doing music with these individuals. She was actively doing music. So she's already down. I just don't understand how so many grown men could be in love with this young girl. And these dudes was 28, 29. It was already getting late in the game, Kamar. It wasn't, you know, Jay-Z was 30-something.
Got a whole world full of women.
And money, and it's this
disposal, and it's this one young girl,
little tomboy looking light-skinned girl who can sing and dance. So what was she doing? Like what? When she and we talking about power players. We talking about dudes who at the you know the upper echelon. Look, Mary J was in the game. You didn't see that many grown men fall out for Mary J.
Right.
Think of all the female celebrities that were popular during that time that was finer than Aaliyah visually. And I'm just going off, and people say, Kev, that's sick because she was young. That adds to it, like more like, well, it's hands off because this is a young girl. But when I think about the sheer amount of men, so when I think about that fact, and there's some accusations made about Jay-Z with Foxy Brown because they're saying she was actually still in high school. Jay was already 30. And there was some, you know, and with Rihanna, who was very young when he discovered her. And he was already in his 40s. So I'm not saying Jay did it, but there's some evidence of you dealing with young girls, younger females.
You always say where smoke is fire.
Right. Now, did he do it to this girl? I don't believe he did. Right. I don't believe that Jay-Z would, him and Puffy together, he would mess with a 13-year-old girl. I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying, like, because something has to be wrong with you if that's how you getting down. That's how you getting down. You know what I'm saying? And it's just me thinking out loud. But that was some news that came across But it kind of makes you think about at this point where he's in control. He has a large influence on this Super Bowl thing. He has all these investments because all of his money is not hip hop money. He has all these investments. Supposedly he's worth $1 billion. He's married to the biggest pop star in the world. Is this time for Jay to have a nigga moment? Like, is this where you say, nigga, we're going to show you? Because maybe
Lil Wayne started this shit.
Maybe he's not cooperating with them on puffing like they want him.
Maybe it's some petty ass shit. Lil Wayne got somebody saying, hey, he did this.
I'm embarrassed to see Lil Wayne is embarrassing.
Him and Drake.
Well, Lil Wayne's appearance throws me off.
Yeah, and Drake talk about suing the motherfucker over a battle rap. So
well, yeah, because Drake is saying, well, you called me a pedophile, but you called him a woman beater.
Right.
Like, so yeah. Canadian ass dude, you really don't understand the culture that you in.
Straight up, man. Right. How you gonna call a motherfucker? How you gonna say something about somebody and get mad when they say something about you?
Lil Wayne is a little different though, because you can see the effects that this kind of like insane superstardom has on a person. Like, he's an example of what I just feel like he sends off all the wrong signals by just showing up. It's like, what? It's like, damn. As much as I liked Michael Jackson as a kid, as much I was in the early 80s, you know what I'm saying? I'm Thriller, like that shit came out when I was a little kid. Motherfuckers had Michael Jackson buttons. I had the Thriller jacket. I had a glove. Okay, we loved Mike, but as time went on, Mike became embarrassing. I started seeing Mike when he became a beige white woman. With you start to see the effects of this superstardom, and he became a recluse and became super weird. It started to be like, you a shadow of your former self. You don't even stand for what you used to stand for. I'm kind of embarrassed for how you look. Like, I wouldn't want to take dude nowhere. I mean, he was Michael Jackson, but I'd have still been like, say he wasn't and he looked like that. You wouldn't want to go nowhere with him. Like, no, man, put your mask on. Bro, you look funny. Dion, what's going on, man?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing, man? I'm so happy to hear y'all voices, man. You know, your boy was in some bad shape this week, man. I don't know what the fuck I had, but that shit, woo. And for motherfuckers to have a strong immune system, that shit would have killed a motherfucker, yeah. I don't know what these motherfuckers putting out here, these type of viruses and shit, but that just wasn't no regular cold. And I was good till I went to work and my motherfucking boss brought that motherfucking European Ebola up in that motherfucker, and that shit down there wiped the player out the game. On the real. I mean, I stood 10 toes down, but I know one motherfucking thing, though, I'm going to have to load up on my vitamin C and elderberry and all type of shit, because I don't want to fight that fight again. That damn it was worse than when I had COVID and shit. On the real. But other than that, I'm doing all right, man. I'm almost back 100%. I'll say I'm about 83.5.
Hey, I remember I told you to get that elderberry syrup instead of the elderberry tea.
What? I don't remember now.
Remember you came when you came up to the store. Remember you came up to the store.
Yeah. I was good then. Yeah, I was good then. But yeah, I went. You know, when you're around them Europeans, man, Yeah. I mean, yeah, you my guy though. You know, when you come to there though, it's almost, you know, people be trying to solicit you for everything. You know, you feel kind of creepy and slimy. I came to see you. Another motherfucker trying to sell me something. I go around the corner, about to leave. Motherfucker trying to sell me some stones. I don't want no stones. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it. You know, but other than that though, I'm still good. Just sitting back, you know, enjoying the dialect we always have on Monday nights. You know, I don't know what's going on with Jay-Z, man. You know, I heard about that shit, but, you know, I don't know, kids, you know. And then, like, with the woke culture that you was talking about, I think maybe it might have the adverse effect, because what are white people afraid of, though? What are they afraid of for the truth to be out? That's, like, why? Why is you know, I mean, because all these years, they've been painting us as lazy, criminals, all this, but when the truth come out about how y'all redline us, y'all politically suppressed us, judicially suppressed us, anything that come out you know, to saying what they did to us. Like, why is that? That's not being woke. That's history. Even last week, the week before last, the Pilgrims and all, that's history, man. So why they want to suppress that? But you know, I don't know. This white people, man. You know, they afraid. You know, they afraid, and you know, they gonna keep being afraid though. But I can't wait till January, boy. The Trump said on the first day he cut Medicaid. I heard there's 9 million people that might lose their Medicare benefits, man. Yeah, and a lot of red states too. Yep, I ain't gonna feel sorry for them though. And I get tired of, like you said, that morning radio really don't have no substance. But afternoon, like I ain't gonna lie, I love Michelle. That's my motherfucker, and she powerful. She'll tear a motherfucker ass up. But there's some motherfuckers on that radio that it's like who do we talk to? No, we don't have nobody really. It's almost like the one guy, the white guy you say, they always saying some shit and really don't know what the fuck they be talking about. Like today I was hearing him and her talk about the immigrants. So I'm like, people don't realize that money that was given to the immigrants, that the federal government allocated that money aside for those people. You couldn't do nothing else with that money. You know, they be like, well, they getting what we should have been got. Listen, if the federal government wanted to give us something, they would have gave it to us. That money that was for them immigrants, you couldn't do nothing else with it. It was for those people. I don't give a fuck if they wanted to give it to you. They couldn't give it to you. It was allocated for those immigrants. You feel what I'm saying, though?
Right. It's kind of like the money that they utilized to build a train. And people were saying they could have done this, they could have done that, but they couldn't. It was allocated for that. That's what it was for.
It's so much. Yes, it's so much misinformation out here. Like it's like care. It's really it's sickening to hear so many people that's so misinformed and pushing a narrative. And I ain't gonna lie, you want to call and tell a motherfucker like, look, miss, I've been rocking with you since motherfucking Outlaw Radio, and you surprised the fuck out of me. Like, I respect you as a woman, but I ain't, like, your views and your opinions is all fucked up, and I feel like you should be more intelligent than that. You can't be spewing this shit out here because people that's misinformed and listen to you and gravitate to you, well, they won't do no research. That's where a lot of us get our information from, is the news. Unlike me, where I read and look in this shit and be like, well, this shit don't sound right. Let me look into this, and this shit don't sound right. And that's just like, I tell any motherfucker, I would have never voted if it weren't for Project 2025. But when I read that shit and I looked in this shit, I said, this shit is nefarious. And you know, this motherfucker about to come, but to more prevail, I can't wait, because when shit start hitting the fan, I don't want to hear like, today I was listening to Karen Hunter, and then, you know, a lot of the United Steelworkers that voted for him, they like, oh, the steel prices about to go up. Some people going to get laid off. No, that's what you voted for, like you said, Kev. You know, you voted for your health care to get cut. You voted for your SNAP benefits. You know, I'm the number one advocate and blah, 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 this. Well, motherfucker, get your pocketbook ready, because a lot of people's SNAP benefits going to get cut. A lot of people, and we're not going to say, and this man trying to do this within the first 180 days, the first 6 months, the first 100 days. And see, remember that shit when we was talking about, because we didn't know how the election was going to turn out. He got a blank motherfucking check with the House and the Senate. You know what I'm saying? And he got the Supreme Court behind him. So the only thing we could do is sit back and twiddle our thumbs and just be like, well, I told you so. And I ain't going to lie, Kev, you know, you my guy. I love you to death, man. But I say, fuck them motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck about them, because you voted against your own best interest. I even got into it with my daughter mama today. The other day, you voted for Donald Trump because you got an extra $100 on your check? What the fuck? I said, girl, I ain't even getting no fucking extra money. I owe the motherfucking government every time because I make too much money and I ain't got no motherfucking dependents. So when the only thing I say I liked about Donald Trump is when he came into office, because at the time I was working for a small company. And then so if you didn't have health care when the ACA first came out, you were getting penalized on your taxes if you didn't have health insurance. That's the only thing I liked about him, because the insurance. But by then I had got my own insurance because I got tired of getting penalized. But when you hear the reasons, people are like, oh, I wanted to go against immigration and this, and that man ain't gonna do nothing against immigration. Them people out here picking for what's her name, Chiquita and Dole and all them billion-dollar motherfucking companies, man. He just did a lot of talking. You motherfuckers did it, and y'all gonna suffer the consequences of it. But Ken, don't let me be on the road now. Interrupt.
I'm about to interrupt you because I got another caller.
What, Ken? What?
I told you I'm about to interrupt you. I got another caller.
Go ahead.
My brother, tell these people who you are, man.
What's going on, Brother Ken? It's Orlando Owen, your local neighborhood Republican conservative, that is, and non-gaslighter.
Gaslighting. How's he gaslighting, Orlando? Talk to us.
Well, I think he's just hyperventilating, all that scare mongering. You know what I'm saying? One of the things is this, man. For black men, we don't scare easy, and I ain't hear nothing but scare. You know, oh, we gonna do, and this gonna be, and so, oh, well, what has been already for 4 years? I mean, it's crazy to me how these 4 years have been copacetic. But, part of 2020, 2025 is going to be a problem. Tell me what parts you don't like about it. Many people can't even articulate what is it that you actually got a problem with. And when you break it down, like, well, that's not so bad. And then we still talking about this. Democrats and liberals can't even get over themselves. Y'all lost. Your policies suck. And basically, America rejected you. Get over it. Move on. Regroup. Stop all this crying about, the sky's gonna fall. They're gonna pull out the slave train and pick up the slave buses, and you got to report at your nearest plantation. And just stop it, man. Get over yourself. You lost. Regroup. Whatever you want to do, which you really can't do because too many people have been made aware of the bias in the media, all the gaslighting. That if Hitler was Donald Trump, why is Joe Biden meeting with him? Why is Kamala Harris shaking hands? Why is all the world leaders, again, too much, and that's why they lost, bro. All the gay trans stuff and immigrants is better than black people stuff, and you can't use this money. Well, you couldn't use the money for nothing for the immigrants. But where's the money for the people then? Where's the money for the people then? Okay. So you want to sit there and say, well, it can't be, that money's fungible. Like a lot of government money is fungible, meaning you can finesse it. If not, then where's the money for the folk at there? And you saying, well, your baby, your mother, your children, she voted for Trump because of $100. You owe the state. Well, part of that again is jacked up tax policies that Trump is going to address. And I'm not saying that he's going to do all what he's going to do, but it's definitely better than what we got right now. That's for sure. Okay,
so I feel like you're talking directly to Dion. Dion, you still with us, right?
Yeah, I'm just listening to him.
Okay, so I
ain't even taking him serious.
Well, he don't have to. Dion Soups drinks a whole lot of Kool-Aid and Fatback, so it's cool.
Oh,
he don't
wow.
like to hear nothing besides what he want to spew out.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's cool. But again, I challenge him to say how good it's been under Joe Biden. Why we're so popular under Joe Biden? Why is it so copacetic under Joe Biden? You can't really say that.
Well,
like you said, if it wasn't for 2020, he wouldn't have voted.
I can say this.
2025.
I can say.
Hold on, Ken. Let me respond to him real quick.
Okay, no. Go
Orlando,
ahead.
I want to ask you a question. When Joe Biden and Kamala Harris did the child tax credit, did you benefit from that? Because I know you say you got children. You told me you got young children. And not only did you say you got young children, but you also told me that your child received some type of government assistance, correct?
So you always get
no. It's either yes or no.
No, you're wrong. No.
Okay. All right. So you didn't benefit from the child tax?
No, I did. No, I did.
Okay. All right. Okay. I can respect that.
Right. So if you can't get the facts right, then your premise of your question is already, your narrative is already wrong. So get the facts right before you try to come. Or did you get?
No, I'm asking. It sounds like you're taking it personal. I'm just asking a question.
No,
you said no. You said no.
What you're doing is spewing misinformation.
You said no. You said no. You don't have to get deep into it. Again, I just want to ask you another question.
One person at a time, y'all.
Fire away, my friend. Fire away.
Did you benefit from the communication bill that they had, where people was getting $25 internet and they was helping pay people's cell phone bill? Did you benefit from that?
No. No,
Oh, okay.
I'm not
Do you
totally.
Do you see all the infrastructure building that's going on around here? The infrastructure building was fast, where all the highways, you drive up and down 43, you go back and forth to Sheboygan, you see how they widen the highway up and look nice and pretty?
Again, my friend, I mean,
it's over. Yeah, all right.
Blind girl get a nut every now and then again, my friend. So
Okay.
you cool with how things been in the world stage with World War III, knocking at the front door. You cool with that?
See, and that's another thing, though. You don't even know the agreement that the United States had with Ukraine, because when Ukraine broke away from the Soviet, when Ukraine broke away from the Soviet, back when Gorbachev was over the USSR, which was the Soviet Union, Ronald Reagan was in office. The United States made a pact to help Ukraine when the Berlin Wall came down. So this is not nothing that we're going over there doing that ain't been done before Trump even thought about it, or over there sending money to Israel, because Israel is the Middle East peacekeeper. So we're not funding, this is something, and we're sending all artillery over there to fund Ukraine. So what do us and Ukraine, that's something that was transpired way before Trump. That was under your other president. Have you been a Republican?
So you cool with the endless wars, resources, money, Americans' lives going over to a war that the Ukraine can't win, giving money to Africa's infrastructure, but don't get no money to the hood infrastructure. You cool with that? You cool with that?
Well, hold on.
When have the Republicans?
Hold on. Wait. Let's be honest all the way around. And this is why I don't choose a party. Both parties have been fraudulent. Orlando, you have to admit that there's been some damaging Republican policy, some policy that was anti-us, and there's been some damaging Democratic policies that were anti-us. Both parties are equal in their egregious treatment of us. This is why we always talking about we're the party poopers. So in terms of how things have been, okay, there's a misnomer about what Trump actually did for the economy, because what he did was he inherited Obama's economy, and Obama's presidency under him, they finally got it straightened out, because we were coming off a couple major recessions. Okay, Trump inherited that, right? And I'm just being fair. Trump didn't really come up with any definitive policies while he was in office. He pretty much rode what had been already established, and he reduced where he could. Now, do you believe, because you made a point about foreign policy, so let's talk about foreign policy. Do you really believe Trump will handle foreign policy better than Biden? And if so, why?
Easy. Joe Biden's a pussy. So yeah, I believe that. Yeah, first,
that's crazy.
Wait a minute.
One of the first conflicts that Trump had when he was in his first term, and I forget the country, but he dropped the big ass bomb, whatever it was called. It was one of the first foreign conflicts. He said, "Let these jokers know that America's not playing." That's what we have to do. America is a.
Wait, now, who did Trump bomb? You can't just throw it out there. Specifically, who did Trump bomb?
Can't remember the country.
You better Google it. Because it don't count. It don't count, or unless you have
the big ass bomb that he dropped was a missile.
You said it. I need for you to get. I need for you to go and find it. Take you about 5 minutes to Google it.
Not a problem. You can get that for you. Google is a free service. Not a problem.
Hey, you know what? The sad part about it is, because I was having this conversation with my daughter mom, and we was going back and forth. And when you look at the Republicans, and like I said, I could go all the way back as far as you want to go. The Republicans really never had no policy. Throughout the years, the only thing that I can remember as far as the Democrats did, but like you said, Ken, we was all for it, was the war against crime with the 94 crime bill. But when you think about it, if you go back to FDR, who came up with the the welfare program? Social Security, FHA loan. You feel what I'm saying, though? The Department of Education. Republicans have no policy, man. Republicans have no policy at all.
Who brought in the gay marriage stuff? That was Barack Obama.
Gay man, that ain't got nothing to do with. I don't care about nobody being gay. There's a lot of Republicans that was gay. Do you know the Republican that was in office when AIDS first came out? He was a homosexual.
Hold on.
Because he be saying stuff that don't make sense.
I know, but we can't talk over each other because then nobody can hear anybody's point.
when that legislation came through, Barack Obama boldly said in his second term, or I think it was his second term, painted the White House with the flag on. So that's a policy that was detrimental to the black community and in many communities of how is gay rights surpassing black rights. That's what I'm saying.
Every right been surpassing black rights.
Well, I'm just letting you know who was in the driver's seat. That's the man Barack Hussein Obama.
Well, do you think, Orlando, do you think, because you just seen, and this is a question I love to talk to Republicans or Trump supporters, and you seen who his cabinet is, correct? The cabinet that he's bringing with him. There's absolutely no semblance of, there's no color in it. No color, right? There's, who's a person of color in his cabinet?
Well, you've got about 5 or 6 of them in there. You got
no, they're all white. What are you talking about?
No, you got the football
hood secretary.
Hold on.
That's it.
The brother from the hood. You got the brown people. You got the Mexicans involved. You got the Indians involved. So,
you said there's one black man, right?
You got the brother in there.
There's one black man.
You got the Hispanics in there.
I don't care about them.
When you say first,
I'm talking about us.
Who's black?
I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us. Let me clarify it. I'm talking about us. So my question was, what is it that you think Trump is going to do specifically for black people? I haven't heard anything in his campaign speeches. I haven't ever heard him even propose any kind of policy for black people. I'm not talking about Mexicans. I'm not talking about Hindus. I'm not talking about islanders. I'm saying you as a black man, it should be a situation anytime we vote on what's in it for me. But I've seen a lot of black people excited about Trump. So tell me what specifically you think it is Trump is going to do for us.
Well, I believe the border is for us. I think that's a huge issue in many minority communities, including black folks. So having a strong position on the border and the world, when we look at World War III particularly happening, is important for all of us, including black people. So I think that's important.
Ain't that fear mongering?
Huh?
Ain't that fear mongering? Talking about it's going to be World War III.
Well, we already see it. Hold on. Today, Putin just announced the nuclear provisions for his country to use for any missile, any missile to be shot upon. That Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, whatever her name is, go ahead and use it. He just lowered their threshold to use nuclear in response.
And you think he won't bomb Trump? He won't do that to Trump.
What I'm saying is this: I think Putin is willing to hold back for a couple more days and have a discussion with Trump about these concerns. So that's that. I think he also going to be a firm supporter of school choice.
Okay.
I'm a big supporter of school choice, primarily for black people, especially we are the home state of school choice. I'm excited what it's going to be the next Opportunity Zone project going to pop up in the hood, trying to put in private and also government funding. That's something I like. In fact, I'm kind of excited, although I would check them all. I want to see what he's going to do with the black schools this time, on how he's going to lock in some funding for them.
Okay.
I'm concerned about, so those things are important. I like the elimination of the Department of Education because I think education is too whitewashed right now. Put it back on the state and let more people locally understand how to educate children. I want to see the expansion of school choice because I think public school isn't a fit for all the people.
Okay,
I think people should have a choice in that.
So notice, out of all the things you said, you talked about what you was hoping for. You was talking about things you like the idea of, but you didn't name one thing that he said he was going to do in regards to black people.
One.
Well, that's not. I don't. I'm once again. You want to? No. You're casting a wide blanket. I'm asking you. You making blanket statements. I'm asking you to be specific. That's all. This is not a trap. It's not an ambush. It's not a setup. I'm asking you logical questions and specific that require specific answers. So I said, what proposal has he made? Or he didn't even promise us. He didn't even say, "Hey, look, here's a specific problem, and I'm going to address this for the African American people in this country." Yet black people were really excited about his candidacy.
Yeah.
I ask you, you start talking about, I'm hoping, I can't wait to see what he does. I think he gone, but you didn't say his policy that he laid out about this will deal with that. You said the border. You said the border. Okay.
You disagree with me. Right. Disagree with me on that issue. The border, I think that's important. I think where we are.
I didn't say it wasn't important. I didn't say it wasn't important. I said that's not something specifically for black people.
And we disagree there.
Okay.
I think the border is important because when we look at the amount of funding we have for people who are impoverished in the community who are trying to make it, that directly impacts black and poor people.
Okay.
We have to offset segments and funding for more people, but the ones you got here, primarily black folk. We talk about black folk who already need some help, and we gonna cut their checks less. As the brother was saying, they're gonna cut your health care. I wonder why they cutting health care and SNAP, because you got to pay for all these immigrants who are illegal. You got to stretch the dollar.
Okay.
I think that impacts. I think that impacts health care. I think that impacts education. I think that impacts food share. All the safety net programs will be impacted by look at New York right now. A prime example. There are overruns with people that cannot afford to pay with black folks. Look at what's happening in Chicago. Overrun by people not from this country that are affecting black people. That's affecting black people.
Wait. That's not actually accurate. Those cities aren't overrun by anything. They have a problem with illegal immigrants, but they're not. New York. Hold on. Have they taken City Hall in New York? New York still got a black mayor, even though he's in some trouble.
And look at what New York's mayor is saying.
He's saying he's down with the deportations. He is. But what I'm saying is you're using words. You're saying overrun, and black people are overrun. We're not overrun. Especially here in Milwaukee. You feel like what has a Latino illegal immigrant done to you here in Milwaukee? What opportunities have they taken from you?
Well, can we say on your first point, before we move to the next point? So you say that the word overrun is not the words you would agree with. Will you say that influx of people have a budgetary impact on a budget that's already set? Would you not agree with that?
I said there's a problem, but we're not overrun. We're not overrun by immigrants. Huh?
The budget is stretched. Is that better? The budget is stretched out.
Well,
the budget money allotted.
There's a lot more wasteful things besides immigration in our budget. Like there's a lot of wasteful spending. They're not the cause of all the problems in America. I think you're overstating. Once again, you're welcome to your opinion, but I think you overstating that. It's kind of like you wagging a dog a little bit with that.
So when you look at the amount of money that we're allocating toward illegal immigrants that could be allocated toward people who are in need, who are already in this country, I think that you might not agree with overrun, but it could definitely stretching the budget when the current budget is already being exhausted.
Is it stretching our budget more than what we're sending to the Ukraine or more than what we're sending to Israel? Right? Like we spend money. We waste money. We waste money in a lot of places. Okay, so
I guess the money we giving Elon Musk.
Well, you can look into military spending. There's
military spending, exactly.
There's a lot of stuff that there's fat in the budget that needs to be trimmed. Orlando, once again, nobody's underestimating the immigration issue because I stated this before. It probably meant more to voters than I gave it credit for because I thought we would look at the fact that Trump was a racist and there's this white energy that he brings with him. And we would all say, no, there's no way. But I underestimated it. Obviously, this immigration thing is important. Now, what does the deportation now look like? Right? Because
but the thing about the immigration, though, Kev, nobody questioned it, is that the Democrats was willing to pass a bill on immigration. Ain't nobody said nothing about what Trump said, kill the bill, because that's what I'm going to run on until I get in office. Did he do that, Orlando? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? It's a yes or no.
We're not going to play your game.
See, that's what I'm saying. He got to go all up in there.
So let's be clear. Because what you want to be very, very, how do I say, tunnel vision. So what Trump did, first of all senators have their own right to vote wherever they want to vote, up or down. and the House of Representatives. Nothing but his mouth. So they want to vote for something they can. But let's also look at that immigration bill. It wasn't a border security bill. It was an immigration bill that had more pathway to citizenship, more ways people get in, and actually securing the border. It was supposed to be a border security bill, not an immigration bill. That's where you're wrong, Dion, and why you're getting the words wrong, because that's where it's supposed to. The deal was, it was a border security bill and not a.
I don't care what. Did he say yes or no on it? Did he kill it, yes or no? That's all I asked.
He wasn't in office.
Well, you just said it, and you said no, he didn't. But he did, in fact, though. He told the Republicans not to vote on it. He carried a lot of weight because he was a presidential candidate.
Again, he wasn't in office, John. He wasn't in office.
Look, Ewok is in the chat room. Ewok says, Shoeshine Boy is back looking for biscuits. He said Orlando's despicable. Listen, man, we have to respect each other's opinions. We have to expect opinions other than ours, right? I've been accused. What did Parrish say? He said I have
people like him is dangerous, though.
He said I had a bunch of yes men. Hold on, Dion. What Parrish say? Kamar, he said I had a bunch of yes men around me, and they had to agree with me in order to be on the show. So I said I'm gonna be fair, and even if you don't agree with me, it's fine. As long as you don't disrespect me, I'm cool. As long as you respect the platform so we can actually do a show as opposed to having a shouting match, I'm cool, right? You can call and say, Donald Duck would have been a much better president than Joe Biden. I would have said, can you please elaborate on that? Even though we know Donald Duck is not a real person. He's a cartoon. But you can argue your points all night unless you say, fuck all y'all, Donald Duck for life. Then I'm like, no, fuck you, and hang up on you. So listen, let me shift it a little bit because Al Sharpton now is under fire. There are people calling for his ouster at MSNBC. If you don't know, which a lot of people don't, Al Sharpton is actually syndicated in Milwaukee on WNOV and has been for years. Mm-hmm. Al Sharpton has had his fair share of controversies, but what's coming out is he received, let me see, was it $50 million? I'm sorry, $500,000? 2 donations. Or a donation of $500,000 to interview Kamala on his program. They're alleging that Oprah received some $1 million payments to be on her platform. And some people are saying this is why Kamala's actually $20 million in the hole, because they were paying people to interview her. I'm sorry. And so people are saying, well, this is despicable because that's basically, that's payola. That's like, okay, give me a platform. So I'm gonna give you a platform because you gave me $1 million, not because I believe you are a thorough candidate, which they felt like was a direct assault on the intelligence of Black people. So she was paying Black platforms to bring her on, not because they valued her, they thought she was a viable candidate, but because she was paying them. So I don't know if Al Sharpton is gonna get in trouble for this or what, but I think this happens all the time, but it becomes a crime when you get caught. And Al Sharpton is definitely caught. He took the money, right? She donated money. I don't fault her for this. I think she was fighting an uphill, kind of battle, but it's still big money, man. We talk about lobbyists and special interest groups, and that's where politics get really dirty at, because politicians ultimately don't work for the people anymore. They become tools of special interest groups and lobbyists. So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting thing that this is coming out, that Kamala was throwing around million skrillion, as we say, for people to interview her. And I get it, favor for a favor. I think everybody does this. But like I said, when you get caught, it's different. When you get caught, it's different. So I don't know.
Or maybe if people don't know about it though.
So the problem I would say with Kid was this. It is disclosure. Anything with Roland Martin, it is disclosure. When you say Oprah Winfrey say the Harpo Productions got paid and she didn't, well, you own Harpo Productions, Oprah. Let's stop playing these semantic games. Or Roland, you own your network. Same thing with Al Sharpton. You are the CEO of the operate whatever he called this thing. You are the CEOs of it. And if you're going to do that, you need to give disclosure. And in fact, you probably need to have somebody else do the interview that day, because you are the owners of the platform. You're not a reporter that works on MSN or Fox News or CBS. You're not just an employee. You are the boss, bro. And you need to disclose that. I think this is where the problem.
Right, and I don't disagree because I see some commercials where they say the following participants were compensated for their testimonies. Right, this is a paid advertisement by so and so and so. So I think there should be just to be responsible for you to say, okay, this was you did donate, but it's more of a okay, I appreciate you, not hey, if I give you how much will it cost for me to come on? Those are two different questions. Like, what can I, two different statements. Like, hey, I appreciate you for what you gave me, as opposed to, hey, man, it's gonna cost you 1.5 to even get on my platform. It just looks bad. I guess the optics on it are bad. You know what I mean? Like, but once again,
I wonder what Steve Harvey got, or maybe that's not. I don't know if the Steve Harvey show was compensated or not.
Well, Steve, I don't. You know what? I think if Steve had took some. And maybe he did. That was an accusation that was made early by a lot of black people. And we, like I said, we went back and forth with Parrish on here because he felt like he said he was being bullied. They were being bullied in Colorado by the Democratic Party. And I said, well, we wasn't bullied up here. Well, nobody bullying me. There was Trump supporters and there was Harris supporters. And both of them were trying to kind of stake their claim. I didn't feel like somebody was like, Kevin, if you don't vote for Kamala, we whooping your ass. Like, it was like I didn't feel threatened by them. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? So, but when you start talking about I gave $2 million to be on a platform. Well, first of all, she's not that smart because I don't know how many black people actually still listen to Al Sharpton. Let's just say that right there. Like I fuck
with Al.
Nobody ever. Well, even if you do, nobody ever really calls me and be like, dog, you got to turn on the Al Sharpton show right now, man. They snapping or like. I'm in the Podverse on YouTube all the time. I rarely see anything, and I see every platform. I watch so many different platforms. I don't see Al. It's like Tavis Smiley. Tavis Smiley is on WNOV here, and I'm like, I haven't heard anybody say, you know what's good? That Tavis Smiley show. I'll be listening to that shit. So I'm like, you got to get the people who we still listen to, the people who are still relevant. I don't know that, I'm gonna give Al. Why would you give Al that much money? I feel like you could have gave Al like $50 in a bucket of chicken and he'd have let you on the show.
It's a lot of people that love Al.
Really?
Like, no bullshit. If you listen to his show, people be calling in and they be
I've heard it before
and stuff like that.
I've heard it before.
What I'm saying? They be like, because they feel like him and Jesse is the elders that was still around when Reverend Martin Luther King was living in Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, he wasn't so much involved in that. But also, most of the people who call in sound like they over 70. Right?
Exactly. I fuck with Al, though. Al be having
do you know his entire history?
He's old soul.
Do you know his entire history?
They say he was an FBI informant.
He's been an informant.
I mean,
he's been an ambulance chaser.
Al because. Yeah, but the only reason I listen to Al Sharpton is because I listen to A60. So I've been listening to A60 for shit.
Okay.
I was listening to A60. Then I remember when they went off, then I was listening to 1290. So, you know what I'm saying? I rock with, Black Milwaukee Talk Radio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't rock with everybody on there. Some of that shit I cut off, but my main two people I rock with is Michelle and Sherwin.
Would you have voted for Al Sharpton if he ran for president? It took you it doesn't matter. It took you way too long. You muted, Kamar. It took you way too long to answer that shit.
Hey, I swear I thought this motherfucker froze.
If it was a bunch of, it all depends though. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't like if he was running for Trump. I'm running against Trump. Yeah, I would have voted for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. I'm not a Democrat though, but I know, you know what I'm saying? The shit I be seeing in front of my face.
What you just said you listen to makes you sound like you lean democratically. Like like you just named off. I mean, the Democratic Party basically controls 860, right? Like you can't go in there and talk against the Democrats. You know what I mean? You won't.
Yeah, they had well, Michelle got in trouble one time when she was talking against Tom Barrett.
She got suspended.
It all depends, you know what I'm saying?
Right?
Yeah. It all depends on it all depends though, you know what I'm saying? But they had They had funky ass Trump commercials on there and stuff like that.
I didn't take
You
the
know what I'm
money,
saying?
but what I'm
But,
saying is you can't be a
yeah.
host on there. You can't have a platform on there. Even when
It
Sherwin
was
was on, even when Sherwin was on there, he represented like he was a Democrat, but he had a lot of conservative kind of ideologies, which we all do. A lot of black people are more conservative than they give us credit for.
Yeah.
We just don't want the racist, discriminatory part of it. A lot of us have a lot of black people, and that's a misnomer. A lot of us have traditional beliefs. Like we are against crime. We are against wasteful government, right? We are against funds not being allocated where they should be. We're against a lot of that stuff, but they think, well, no, they rock with the Democrats so much. And so we get dismissed for our conservative nature. But a lot of us, like I say, I'm conservative about some shit, and then I'm on the left about some shit, right? I think a person should be allowed. A person should be allowed to wear more than one suit. You can't wear this. You shouldn't have to wear the same suit every day. You should be able to change it up sometimes.
But we know what party is against us now. Pretty soon they gonna come out and say the nigga.
Do we?
Yeah,
do we
they
know what
gonna
party is against us?
They gonna say
do
nigga.
Do we really know what party is against us though, Dion?
No, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Ain't no white man for me, so I don't give a fuck who. You know what I'm saying? Like just if we gonna really boil down to it.
I'm listening.
I'm just saying, the black folks you trying to claim for you and for you either. They want more.
Well, I'll tell you this. I would definitely say you ain't. If I had to put my bet on, I definitely would say you ain't because our views is totally different.
I don't know about that.
No, our views.
And I'm for putting money back in your pocket. So
I
don't know if you totally against.
I don't want that type of money. Okay, I don't want that type of money.
You want to stay in business for what you do. You want to stay paid. I want to see you get paid.
No, what I want is I want all of us to fall under Trump so a motherfucker can sit up there and tell people like you that voted for him, look what your motherfucking ass did, the trouble that we got into. That's what I want. I don't care about this shit. I want collateral damage, like 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Because there's gonna be some collateral damage. It is. I don't care what you say. The man say he sit up there, he gonna put tariffs on shit. Who you think gonna pay for them tariffs? When the people Medicaid get cut, you know what I'm saying? I hope you ain't getting no Medicaid or your mama ain't getting no Medicaid or nobody in your family get Medicaid. Who you think that's gonna touch?
Why do you think Medicaid is gonna get cut? I don't. You
the man said it. He said it.
A whole lot. You gassing a whole lot.
Why do everybody think this? What this man keeps saying is, he's just saying he's not gonna do it. So this motherfucker telling you what he gonna do. I just can't with you people.
So certain things have to change beyond because they're outdated and they're antiquated and they're not.
The man is saying it.
Hold on,
Dion.
Get a man a chance to respond. Once again, we don't want to yell over each other.
He's not responding though.
He trying, but you cutting him off because you don't agree with him.
Shit, crazy.
Go ahead, Orlando, because I'm about to change the topic.
Certain things gonna have to change, Dion. So I give you that. There are certain things will not be able to stay the same. You may have to raise the retirement age. You may have to look at how we fund Social Security because Social Security has we may have to go to individual retirement funds, which so many people believe they have, but they actually don't. There's no account that has Dion's name on it for his for Social Security. That's been a lie, and that's not true at all. And Kev knows that. So we may have to start doing some things differently to keep that account, paid into, so we can help the ones who are currently in it, and the ones who are under 65. We may have to change the mathematical equation on how we do it. So I'm not disagreeing with you, Dion, but I do believe you definitely have to let some stuff go, bro. You can't be riding on the titty like this. You're gonna have to let some stuff go, bro. It's, if you don't make it, you're gonna have to fall on your ass sometimes to get up. So I'm with you there. But I think some of the things we're gonna have to change. That's fair enough. Sorry about that, Kev.
That's all good. Dion, you got any response? Because I'm gonna change the topic. Cause I gotta talk about something else.
Yeah, I mean, I just I don't even know, man. Like that, all that old bullshit, like that's everything he's trying to say is like it's sugarcoating it. But your mama probably can't afford to lose her Medicaid to go work. You know what I'm saying? My mama had cancer. You know what I'm saying? So they fuck with her Medicaid and cut her off or cut her check. Then what? Oh, we're gonna have to raise the retirement age. These people, I don't know where the Social Security fund is. Like, why are they so gun ho on fucking with money that the federal government takes out our fucking check? If you look on your check stub, it clearly says that. You know what I'm saying? That they take out. Why are they so gun ho about fucking with that? You understand what I'm saying? Then when you look at all the other bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like when they talking about, well, school choice. Okay, you think it's gonna be school choice. What's gonna be happening is a lot of that money gonna go into private school funding. And if your kids can't go afford to go to private school, then they don't give a fuck. You understand? SNAP benefits. This family's out here. It's working poor out here to get SNAP benefits. FHA loans, Pell grants. You feel what I'm saying? So when he's sitting up here, oh, it's gonna have to be some stuff you gotta let go. Your ass damn near dead. You got more time behind you and you got ahead of you. But what about your child? You understand what I'm saying? Your child be like, God damn, Dad voted for this bullshit, and then look at what we gonna be suffering. It probably ain't gonna be none of us, but what about the kids, the people that's behind us, the kids that gotta grow up and they not gonna know nothing. They just gonna be like, oh, they felt like this guy, because he said he was going to be tough on immigration, which there is no way in the hell, because all these immigrants coming over here, they're working. And guess what they're doing? They're paying taxes. They're going to the federal government. They're not going to stop those people. And another thing that I don't understand about that bullshit, when they always talking about the immigrants, why they ain't talking about the motherfuckers that's hiring the immigrants? Because the immigrants ain't coming over here for nothing. They coming over here working. So why they not going after the big companies like Polaro's and the Cargills and the other places that hire a lot of these Mexicans, the Doles and the Chiquita bananas and all them places where they're picking goddamn oranges and lettuce and stuff. Go down there and shut the people down and then watch how this. You understand what I'm saying? So they just simply talking about going after the immigrants. Everything that he's talking about don't make no sense. And then, like I said, just pure on the Republicans from George Bush to Ronald Reagan, goddamn Nixon. Republicans don't make no good policy, and the policies that they make always fuck us over. And then we got COVID. Before COVID, our communities fucked up. You understand what I'm saying? Because wasn't no goddamn Democrat in office when it was fighting the war over there when cocaine was allowed to get funneled in the United States to fight the war against Nicaragua, and they sit there and made Ronald Reagan and Oliver North and all the motherfuckers heroes. That was Republicans. You know, who signed NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Act? George Bush was there acting it, but Bill Clinton had to sign it off. But hold on. No, George Bush, the first Bush did it, but by him already doing it, that's just like, guess who tried to pull out of Afghanistan, but when Joe Biden came in, he had to finish it. Donald Trump started the bullshit. So you can't sit up there and tell me that these Republicans is for black people and you a black man. You understand what I'm saying? So all that old bullshit that you talking about, yeah, it's going to have to be some stuff get cut, this, that, and the other. I want to see how you feel when your ass out there working 3 or 4 jobs and you can't able to take care of your family. But Trump sure said he was going to get these Mexicans out of here. Now your ass is one of the Mexicans working for $4.85 an hour and might not even be getting that.
So I already worked 3 jobs beyond under so
okay,
what
listen,
the fuck?
I want to give anybody else a chance to call in. The number is 262-202-5131. Chat room is on deck. I do want to talk about Willie Hines finally retiring from being the head of Hackham. And so a lot of people, for whatever reason, haven't paid attention to what was going on with Hackham. And this has been an ongoing thing for years. But there's also some decisions that have been made in terms of HUD and their involvement in subsidized housing in the city of Milwaukee. I worked for Hackham. and this was during the time when HUD was coming in saying, look, because the one thing Milwaukee doesn't want to do is be a landlord. So, and unfortunately, you know, our subsidized housing was unique because the city actually runs Hackham, right? And so they were trying to say, okay, well, let's turn it a little bit more control over to HUD. But the federal government came in. The feds came in and investigated my housing authority, and in particular, I believe it was the rent assistance program, as well as some other programs. And they found out that, number one, money had been misallocated. And then that there was a severe backlog of tenant issues from the places that they live being in disrepair, to, you know, bug and pest infestations, and just people. There's lost rent, like people who paid their rent being told, hey, you're going to get evicted because you haven't paid your rent. And people saying, no, I've literally paid my rent with a check for the last 15 years. And they're saying, well, we can't find the shit. And so my question was, when all of this came out, when the feds had to come in and take control over the housing authority here, why wasn't he dismissed? Well, cronyism is in full effect, because we find that, of course, you got to love our mayor. You have to love our mayor saying, look, I'm gonna ride with him. Because remember, at one point the mayor was like, I don't even know, I heard they doing better and shit. Like, it was like, dude, bruh, they got the feds running their office, man. What you talking about? But so I guess this was all just, they wanted to buy him time until his birthday so he could retire. Now he's going to be receiving $142,000 a year in his pension for the rest of his life. And he just qualified for it. So they, in essence, let him keep his job and he can retire so he'll get his pension. I was unaware that he actually makes $252,000 a year right now. And last year he made $252,000 a year. For somebody who has lost control of their organization to the point where people are living with insects. There's money, there's checks missing. There's a backlog on maintenance. When I worked in Hillside, one of the issues we had because of the construction downtown was rats. I'm talking about rats. I ain't talking about mice, y'all. I'm talking about rats, puppies, gerbils. You feel me? Like, for real, when I would come to work and in the morning and you'd see just a big random dead ass rat. I say, oh, that's a possum. That is a rat. Because that construction downtown, because believe it or not, rats, they have steam tunnels downtown where it's warm year round. Because a lot of those, there's steam still, a lot of, buildings still powered with the steam. There's rats so big, some city workers won't go into those tunnels. If you go to the lakefront, they did a special I noticed they haven't done in a while. They went to the lakefront one time at night. Those big ass rocks that all your kids and shit love to climb on and everybody be on. At night in the summer, it's big ass rats. You eat good downtown. Think of the trash that those restaurants and hotels, all these they throw out. So the rats, and nobody really bothers them because at night everybody gone. So these rats were displaced by this construction. So a lot of them just rolled on up on Hillside. We were on an advisory to tell them, hey, don't, because they would just take their garbage and just throw it over the fence instead of in the bin. So the rats like, oh, this shit's sweet. And they was dying. I had clients in my program that I was working at that time who had bed bug infestations. They were not allowed to come to my office and see me because they had bed bugs. And I would say, well, what's going on? They said, well, I've called. I encountered residents who said to me then, Mr. Barnes, they talking about I haven't paid my rent, and I know I have, showing me the check stubs. And that was 7 years ago. This dude done been able to hold his job this whole time, y'all. And mysteriously now he resigns when he qualifies for his $142,000 a year pension. That's why I call it cronyism. Like, the mayor kind of held him down. The mayor sits on advisory councils on a lot of this shit. Like, he said he didn't know what was going on with the school board. Come to find out, he sits on an advisory board for the appointees of the school board. He said he didn't know. Remember, Kamari said, I'm going to have to call Willie and see what's going on. So did you just call that brother by his first?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but let me give Willie a call.
Right, whatever his name was. What was his name?
Let me see what's going on over there.
He called him like by his nickname. Let me call Bobo and see what he do. Our mayor, sometimes he appears to me as a fraud. But he's a black man, right? Like, so, you know, our criticism of him has to be kind of tepid. We have to really vet what we say because he's a black man. He's the first black elected mayor of the city. And I think he's a tool. I don't know that I can't say he's a bad man. He seems like a nice guy. We know he smiles a lot. But I don't think he is beneficial to the black community in the city of Milwaukee. See, we talk a lot about national politics. This is that distraction, Kamar. But we got so caught up in this national shit that we stopped looking around our own city here in Milwaukee, right? A lot of stuff being pushed up under your nose in this city.
Hey, maybe every year around this time that happens locally.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I ain't just saying in Milwaukee, you know what I mean? Maybe that happens in a lot of communities.
And people justify what happens in the national elections for them not voting in local elections.
Right.
They say, I don't even vote because they use that collegiate shit. Come with that college.
Well, really, it should be the other way around, right?
Well, you can't blame that. There is
like
no electoral college.
I'm saying, like, you should vote in the local elections first.
Always.
And then look towards that.
Always. But when you state they're going to do what they want to do, that they all go to that same college. There's no electoral college for a mayoral election or aldermanic election, right?
Right.
It's just like I said, the county got by. It was so smooth, and I still don't know. Nobody still answered for me what happened to the $19 million budget deficit. They've passed their budget and said, hey, we saved services. We had to move some stuff around, and we had to. But I'm like, well, but what happened to the deficit? What happened to the 19? Oh no, we're gonna raise the property tax levy once again. So you homeowners, hey man, sorry. Milwaukee balances their whole existence on the property tax levy, and you wonder why your property taxes go up, and they're gonna go up until you can't pay them anymore. Because guess who can? Right, the gentrifiers can. This is how you gentrify a community. This is how you do it. You just make it so expensive that they can't stay there no more.
Kev, I'm with you. Your whole commentary. That I know maybe it's harder to criticize the black guy, but I'll be on the side of what is, what ain't. I want to be. And Chevy and David, they're the ring leaders. You let I forget what number you said. You said he's going to retire with $175,000 pension.
Well, his pension will be $142,000 a year.
But he was getting paid what a year?
They said he made $252,000 last year. $252,000. And he's been he's been their director for a very long time. So his money should be long. His money should be long.
Hey man, Joe Davis. Hey man, Joe Davis got that long money.
Not remember that he also was a city alderman.
Yes, sir.
And common council, one common council president too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For a long time.
I mean, and over, was the oversight person of the city, bro. And we still have the nerve to question these folks. And we get the backlash from all the church people. Well, how is they in the church and all that goofy stuff? But David, all the goofy stuff. What are you getting for what we paying for?
Now, Orlando,
you wouldn't do this.
Orlando, this ain't party based though. This ain't because they're Democrats. I know you already feel. I know you feel a certain kind of way because they Democrats. So that's going to influence your answer too.
I didn't say that. All I said was, look at what you're getting for what you're paying for, what you're voting for.
Right.
I didn't bring in party affiliation. I just said, this is what we're doing now.
Okay.
Regardless of party, do you feel you're getting represented for your money?
Okay. I rock with you on that. I listen, once again, the one thing I haven't heard, and Kamar, this is something we talked about, what we say ad nauseum. I have not heard an economic development plan. I have not seen them bring jobs here. I've seen them raise taxes, but I haven't seen you bring jobs. I haven't. What's the last? Okay, we know there were some corporate headquarters that popped up downtown Milwaukee, but what's the last groundbreaking ceremony you've seen of a major corporation saying, "Hey, we're going to build a distribution center here"? We're on a Great Lake, aren't we? Like, aren't we like a important? We're in the middle of Detroit to the east, Chicago to the south, Minneapolis to the west. Okay. Those are three major cities. You don't think some company, and we see Amazon is set up shop and they're eating in Wisconsin, right? After Skippy Walker, Orlando's guy, sold our state to the who was they called? Foxconn. And
Foxconn.
That shit
and they
never
ain't do shit.
No, it never came to fruition. But Amazon is gobbling up that. But there's nothing in Milwaukee. Why is there no large? Dude, we got miles along this former industrial corridor, miles of vacant industrial property. And we're sitting on a Great Lake. Why is there nothing in Milwaukee?
It's not designed for that, though, man. You feel what I'm saying, though? Like, when them people, the thing about it, and it's not only, the city of Milwaukee, but we can talk about Milwaukee, you know what I'm saying? But it's not designed for that because, for one, you have people hyperinflation on crime. So why would what is alluring, even if a tax break, they can say, oh, well, we'll give them a tax break to come here. But fuck the tax break. If my client, I open up a business in Milwaukee, and my client, my employees' cars getting vandalized, they get stolen, vandalized, people probably breaking into the business, crimes are being committed. It's not going to make another company that want to come buy product from me or whatever alluring. Like, you rarely hear about Talco. It's over there still, but you don't hear nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? The reason the cities is designed to keep people that's living in the inner city in poverty. You feel what I'm saying?
Listen, Dion. First of all, let's be honest. Amazon has enough money to build a secure facility that is secured, and the city of Milwaukee can make a commitment to make sure that's secured. You know how much money Amazon has? They have enough money to invest in their own security to secure that facility. Won't nobody touch it. If I'm hitting a pass key, going through a gate, parking my car in the parking lot every morning, going to work, I got just as much chance of getting out of there safe as I would if I was on downtown or in the suburbs. You can make things happen, or you can make excuses as to why they're not happening, right? Because, like you stated, Talco is up there in Century City. There's a couple small companies or whatever. Do they have a problem with people being robbed? Are they getting robbed? I haven't heard anybody getting robbed. I haven't heard them people jumping the fence, and it ain't even all the way fenced in. But you can create that fear. You can't put building around the niggers. They'll rob you. They'll kill you.
Yeah. I work out here in Grafton. I hear people talk about how bad Milwaukee is all the time.
Yeah, people who don't live here.
What, Milwaukee? Yeah, that's what I be telling them.
At one point, this city has to become accountable for itself. Because I can tell you one damn thing you could do too. I've said this many times. With all of the money that you get for your police force, you can make substations. Everything don't have to be a big ass precinct. You can put 2 or 3 substations in that area. 4 or 5 cars, 4 or 5 police paddy wagons, and have them up, and any crime over there will be curtailed, as they say. You have to make it happen. It's not going to happen. Oh, I'm going to snap my fingers and it's just going to happen. So I think
but
that's
why would they want to make poor people, why would they want to give poor people a financial chance? Because you got to understand, poor is crime. Poor creates crime. Poor creates money. You don't hear about judges getting laid off, district attorneys getting laid off, the police force getting laid off. You hear about them wanting more police. Let's be hard on crime. So if they can keep people poor, poverty,
that money, Dion, that's not working. Because if it was, then we wouldn't have to burden people with tax increases. The one thing is we don't generate enough tax revenue. That's a big issue. So that crime and shit ain't paying enough because your city is one of the poorest in the country. So what you need to do is think outside the box. Now, what I hear you saying is all the things I would expect them to say. And some black people to say, well, it's designed this way, Kevin. They're not going to build it don't even got to be on 30th and 35th and whatever, right? Like it could be on the outskirts. We have a lot of land on the outskirts. There's enough real estate here for you to rejuvenate this city with it, but it has to be a plan. You can't just throw the company up there and say, hey, y'all, here. There has to be development. There has to be infrastructure made. There has to be all kinds of stuff. And once that tax revenue goes up, you'll have more money to allocate for neighborhood improvement projects. So just like you can build that huge Amazon, you can build a huge community center. You can put programs in the neighborhood where people won't have to, and you can hire some of the people from the neighborhood. All that shit will change. But if you just gonna build we're gonna make $1 million out of here and we're gonna put it on 5th and Center. The hell you preach, them poor ass people ain't having that shit. What's in it for us? But we also know that if they built any facility like that, they would gentrify the area first anyways. That's what's happening anyway.
Yeah, 5th and Center damn near getting gentrified.
All that shit's gonna be gentrified.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It is.
The UWM is down there too, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they sneaking and doing stuff, you know.
I got so mad when T-Rock got killed. I came on here and said I was with gentrification. Remember that? I said, fucking gentrify the whole city. I said, I was so mad at us. I was like, man, I'm tired. I can't tell. It was just back-to-back bubbles because rest in peace to Yayo to Don and then T-Rock, and I was just fed up. And I said, well, gentrification is the only solution I see. I don't know that I'm that far removed from that because I believe in economic development. Those who can should stay, and those who won't should get the fuck out. I'm not going to say can't. Notice I didn't say can't. I said won't.
Hey, you know, it's also about, you know what I mean, having a non-toxic environment. Wanting to live in a non-toxic environment. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't knock people if they are with gentrification. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about weeding. Okay, if I ain't saying it's about weeding bad people out, but it is about weeding bad people out too. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we trying to create a healthy environment to grow up, raise our kids in, to live in, and everything. You know what I mean? And if that means getting the people out who are disruptive and they just happen to be the ones who, you know what I mean, really, who are at a financial disadvantage, let's say that, right? And it just so happened to be them, but they also the ones that's destroying the community. You know what I mean? Like, I'm building myself up, but then you motherfuckers break my car every goddamn night. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't knock people for being with it either. I don't want to live around bullshit. I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit either. Right. And that was, if we're gonna have the disruptive people living together in certain neighborhoods, fine, let it be that.
And that's a great point you make, Kamar, because then it's on us. Then it becomes on us to police ourselves. Then to say, hey man, we trying to develop this community. If you ain't with this shit, you got to go.
You got to go.
We ain't having this shit no more. Yeah, we're not. They're trying to create opportunities so this community can, because that's the difference in Milwaukee now and the Milwaukee that I grew up in which the neighborhoods, the communities held you responsible. Like they'll come tell you, yeah, you don't got to close this goddamn drug house. We ain't having that shit over here. We calling the goddamn police. And they'll let you know. Them old people they was fearless because they was like, we gonna regulate our own community. I guess the problem is there's so many people who are of this kind of infected mind state that you'd have to really relocate a lot of people. And where you gonna put them? Where you gonna put them? I think that becomes part of the plan, though. That's why I said you have to plan this. It's not gonna happen automatically. This is why our leaders have to sit down and say, hey, y'all, we need to come up with a comprehensive plan to change this. Because it's not profitable. Because guess what? Poor people don't generate tax revenue, but Dion said it's about the prison system. Well, you know what? Most people in your community ain't going to prison. They overestimate that number too. All of us ain't going to prison. Most black people, not the majority of black people are not in prison. A majority of the
when
black.
You got people that won't suffer on crime, and then because a motherfucker steal a car, you want it just to be a mandatory 5 years. That's just like with the 94 crime bill. If you got caught with this much cocaine compared to this much cocaine, you had to do a mandatory 5 years. So if we keep on sitting up there saying, well, we want tougher sentences for this, that, and the other, then it's a repetitive cycle. It's still a war on the poor.
It worked. The crack epidemic failed.
Didn't work.
The crack epidemic failed. What are you talking about? The crack epidemic ended.
No,
it didn't. Is crack still as bad as it was?
I ain't gonna go for that.
Hold on. Is crack still as bad as it was?
I don't know because I don't smoke.
No, you know damn.
Okay, then you can't say that then if you don't know.
Dion,
hold on.
No, how can you say you don't know?
Go ahead.
If you just said something, you just made it. I can say I don't. Just made a statement. You can't come back and say I don't know.
Well,
listen. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is how I feel. Anytime it comes to the media and them stinking ass white folks, I don't trust nothing they saying. You understand what I'm saying? Because maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe crack was bad. Who's saying it wasn't?
Crack was bad?
Wait, hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. Maybe for that time and era. You understand what I'm saying? Because things change. Ain't nothing stays the same. You feel what I'm saying? For that time and era, yeah, maybe it was. You understand what I'm saying? But it done moved on. We just said the other, it's still people smoking crack. This is like right now, it's people overdosing on heroin, fentanyl, and all that. But you don't hear them saying, let's do a war on that. You know what I'm saying? That shit is killing the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
They are doing a war on fentanyl.
Anytime it's something that pertains to us, they try to hype it up, make it seem like, oh, this, that, blah, 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 blah. And here we go. Like, yeah, it is that and that. Yeah, maybe crack was fucked up for the era of the 80s. That was during that time. Yeah. Who's to say, you know, crack ain't never went nowhere. It's still around. So why they went? It didn't stop people from selling crack.
But Dion, look, hey, it was more motherfuckers going to prison for crack when me and you was catching our cases back then than it is now. Motherfuckers going to jail, and they are. They do have a war against fentanyl. It's banging their communities. So now they got a war on fentanyl.
Opioids, period.
I ain't heard no war on fentanyl. I heard they treating this.
Yeah, man. You watch the news and shit, man. You be watching about all the people dying off these fentanyl overdoses, fentanyl in the heroin, fentanyl in the cocaine, fentanyl in everything.
Yeah, they say it's an epidemic.
Well, I think what you did.
Epidemic. That's it. That's the same thing. They letting you know that's what's going on.
I think what you just did there, Dion,
was called. And the epidemic is two different things.
Hold on. What you just did there is what we call conjecture. Because first of all, you started to statement with maybe crack was bad. And then you tried to put it because of the time period. And then you said, well, people still say, hold on, like you just told me, let me finish. Then you said there's still people selling crack, there's still people smoking crack. As a member of the Black community, you can go out into this community and see that the damage from crack cocaine is not once what it was. Like Kamar stated, the arrest and conviction rates for crack possession are not what they once were. A lot of that had to do with mandatory minimums and criminals saying, fuck that, I'm not going to do that anymore. I didn't say crime went away. I didn't say drugs went away. I said a tough crime bill helped change things around so that the epidemic of it, where it had gutted our entire community, has gone away.
Hey, Ken, I dig this. I remember a time when they was talking about how much time you get for crack now. You know what I mean? The niggas was like, man, I'm finna start selling weed.
Right.
Nigga, that shit was working.
It was tough, and they didn't cut it off. It became mass incarceration.
Yeah, I know niggas. I watch niggas switch over to weed.
And we've stated that after a while, when it started to wane a little bit, they should have went back and said, okay, let's go back and make the necessary changes, but they didn't. But once again, we were champions for it. So when it was time to get regulated, we should have took the same route. Now I got somebody in the chat room. He's stuck in the system. Shout out to this brother stuck in the system. He's watching us via YouTube. Said crack destroyed a generation. What the fuck he talking about? He said effects still lasting. He said crack babies. And he's talking about facts. My point with that was because Dion, on one hand, you say, well, they ain't gonna build shit here because the crime too bad. But then you say, well, we don't need no bills to punish people more harshly for committing crimes. So it's like what you're saying is basically fuck it. Like there's nothing, don't regulate the crimes, and then it's cool if they don't build nothing. I don't understand which one is it? Do you want it to get better or do you want it to stay the same?
That's a real tough one right there, because who don't want to get, wait, hold on, let me finish. Who doesn't want it to get better? Not only for myself, but for others around me. But at what expense? At what cost will it get better? For me to be like, okay, I want to sacrifice one of my young brothers because I feel like, like you said, crack gutted our community. His father was taken away in the crack. His mother, you know what I'm saying, was smoking crack. So he had to be raised by his grandmother, which was raising 5 other kids by the other family members that crack had took away. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of a ripple effect there. Yeah, everybody wants shit to get better. We all want it to get better. But at what cost? To lock up more black men?
Either way it goes. Either way it goes, somebody gonna die. Either way it goes, somebody gonna die. You know what I mean? Like if they don't do nothing, motherfuckers still gonna die. Motherfuckers still gonna get fucked up. Now we may have to sacrifice a few for the betterment of everybody else.
There we go. And two, I think people, that's a little paranoid because a lot of times, if you're not doing something, you don't get raped into it, right? I don't sell crack. So if they're regulating crack unjustifiably, they're not going to arrest me. And if they do, they just practicing. Now, if we look at the car thing, right? If that young man, as a result of him losing his family to whatever reason, if he decides that since my life is bad, I'm going to be counterproductive in the community and I'm going to take from other people and harm other people, he should be removed. He should get some time to go and sit down and think about the error of his ways. He should go and somebody should tell him, hey, man, we understand you had a rough life, but that's no excuse for you to fuck up other people. Do you see the hashtag? Not your enemy. So you don't get the right to come and kill my daughter because you didn't know your father.
Right.
You don't get to do that. You got to go and pay for what you've done. And we got to hold them accountable and say tough love sometimes is the hardest love. Hey, man, ain't nothing I can do. My mama used to tell me all the time, you go out here in these streets, you do what you do, but it ain't shit I can do for you when them white folks get their hands on you. Ain't nothing I can do for you.
Real as a motherfucker.
Whatever you do, just know, whatever
my
you
mother
do.
reminded me of that when I was in DT, right? And then motherfucking judge was like, no, detain, you got to stay here till the next court date. I learned that the hard way, like, yeah, told you, ain't nothing I could do.
Nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. I can send you clothes. I can send you a TV. I can put money on your books, but I can't get your ass out of there. And so now we start to talk about, well, all black people ain't guilty. There's some people in jail who are innocent of their crimes. Okay, that happens. But what I'm saying is at a certain point, we're going to have to regulate ourselves. We got to regulate ourselves. We got to say, hey, man, enough with the bullshit, man. Enough with that. Like, enough. I don't want to see little kids shot up. So if you out here on the block busting your gun in the broad open daylight, I want your ass gone. And I worry about what they doing to you later. I worry about your conditions in jail later. I'm more worried about these babies. I'm more worried about the ability to be a community. There's 2 words in community: common unity. And if you're not with that, then you need to be removed. We got to stop making it, oh, he didn't have no father. You know how many dudes didn't have a father that still turned their lives into something successful? Not many dudes have been affected by violence and trauma and all kinds of shit in their lives. They said, I'm still going to make something out of myself, as opposed to carjacking old ladies at the gas station, going on a high-speed chase, and then killing 2 other people. Right? Like, you have to remove people. That's all I'm saying. Let me go back to the chat room. This is Stuck in the System. He said, if we being real, crack was created for the black community to destroy the black community. CIA whipped that up. No pun. Yeah, we know the government had a real big heavy hand in what happened with the crack epidemic from their actions down in South America, fighting a fake ass war against communism. We've discussed that many times. And Dion alluded to that when he talked about Reagan and Ollie North. Ollie North fell on the sword for that. You know, but the CIA, we know now, we know this information was there. So with all this information that's out here about this shit, Kamar, why you still doing it? You can't say you didn't know. You can't say, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always said, I felt kind of bad for them old heads coming out the 70s who's really on the powder, just partying. They kick it. They get up and go to work. They were still kind of productive. That crack, they didn't know what that shit was about. They didn't know. If you smoke crack in 2024, I have no mercy for you. You knew what that shit did. You know what it is. They done made a whole industry of rap music and movies about this shit. That's what I'm saying. So I'm tired of black people making up excuses. I love, look, man, look at me. I'm a proud man of color. And guess what? At one point, I was counterproductive in my community, Kamar. In the worst way. You know what? One day I said, I'm done with this shit. I'm not doing this no more. I'm just not. I do what I got to do. I will go and work a bullshit job, but I'm not going to do that. Because when they catch me, then I'm going to be singing this. Well, you knew what it was, Kev. If you live in the hood, you see the future, and you young, you see the future in front of your eyes every day. You see the bum, you see the crackhead, you see the burnt out tenement, you see the roaches, you see the rats. Now, what makes you think I'm going to be better than them, but I'm going to do the same shit they did, but I'm going to be better? No, you're going to be the same. You're going to be them. And so if we stop lying to kids and giving them ways out, well, po baby. No, you out here robbing and stealing. You on some bullshit. Come on, man. It's hard for me to have mercy for you when they lock you up. That's what I'm saying. These kids is cutting, they got enough sense to cut the band off, the ankle bracelet off. You own this bracelet for stealing a car and drug possession or having a pistol. You cut it off and go do another crime while you actually facing charges for this crime. Come on, man. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of people saying, well, we got to be careful. And look, I sold crack after the crime bill was passed. But you know what, Kamar? I knew if they caught me, that was my ass. I wasn't under no illusion. And you muted, Kamar. And I would have went right in court and been like, shh.
No, I just said that's your ass, Mr. Postman.
It's your ass. You knew what it was.
That's what I was alluding to earlier. You know what I mean? Everybody started talking about that shit like, dog, you get 10 years for one rock. Like, shit, I wonder what they'd do for an ounce, man. God damn, I'm finna stop this shit. We gotta, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna start selling weed.
And it increased snitching. When they start throwing them football numbers, a bunch of brothers. Hey man, fuck it, man. I'm hungry.
Can I ask you a question, Kev?
Yeah, go ahead, Orlando.
So do you believe in today's terms that individuals don't know the weight and the ramifications of what could happen for, living this lifestyle? I mean, do you think these young people are naive, or what's your take on it?
I think first of all, they're young people, and young people make mistakes. Okay, but I cannot say they don't know, because if you grow up in the community, you see it every day. And a lot of times it happens within their families over and over and over. I've been in the homes. I've been in these kids' homes. I've dealt with their parents. I've been a case manager for these kids. I've sat with them and spoke with them about, where they were mentally. And I'm telling you, they know. They're making conscious decisions to do this because it's easier to not give a fuck than it is to care. It is a coward's way out to say fuck it, right? You got a child and you're struggling and you're like, man, I don't know what's going on. I can't hardly feed this kid. It's easy for you to say, fuck it, I'm out of here. Than it is for you to say, man, I'm gonna stand here, man, and be a man until I can't with my babies and take care of my family. That takes commitment. That takes, now you got to be accountable. Now there's expectations. Now I got to do the right thing. I can't just, we talk about the lure of the drug game. Number one, money was the first thing, but the second thing was the lifestyle. Most cats fell in love with the lifestyle. It wasn't just, after a while, it wasn't even about the money. It was about that I can do whatever the fuck I want to do anytime I want to. I can buy any. It was that lifestyle. So people want an easy way out. Yeah, well, they want an easy way out, right? And so black people we complain about, that's why you don't hardly hear me blaming the white man. Who called in Kamar that time was telling us about the white man? And I said, which one? Tell us his name. We'll go get that motherfucker.
I don't know who it was, man.
Which one? Like, the white man.
Right.
Do you know how many poor white people it is in this country? You talking about
white man you talking about?
I ain't gonna lie, I blame the white man for everything.
I see.
We know.
I
see. I blame the white man. I blame white people for what they deserve blame for. And they are, for in a lot of cases, racist and they discriminate and there's bigotry. But once again, you got to understand their ability to separate themselves from us, period. There's towns in northern Wisconsin that ain't never been a black man in ever. And they can go live in that town and be peaceful like for 50, 60 years. So once again, who got mad at me? That was Paris when I said there's a difference between being racist and being prejudiced. Because to a certain degree, I'm prejudiced, but I'm not a racist. Sometimes we got to think about what words actually mean. I don't think most white people are racist, but I think a great majority of them are prejudiced. They prefer their own. The same as me. It just so happens that we don't have the ability to take away from other people. They got the ability to take away other people's rights. That's when it goes into racism. It's not enough for me to just prefer my own. Now I want to sabotage other people's struggle. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Stuck in the System. He said he subbed to us. I appreciate that, man. We need all the support we can get on YouTube because we suck over there. He said Willie Lynch was a real person. I've heard different, but there's some controversy to Willie Lynch. He said in the court, the man is the white man. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'll blame them for what they need blaming for. They wrote a constitution and a bill of rights, and it was all white slave owners, all white men. They established a racist power structure. You can't deny that, no matter who you are. You give them.
Still don't want to admit slavery.
They don't have to admit it for me to tell them that it's And I'm
that's
slavery.
The battle on wokeness.
Yeah, you can blame them for what they did with slavery, but can we still bring up slavery every 5 minutes here now? I don't know that we can, because I think our wounds are more self-inflicted now.
What about the 400 years of oppression after slavery, though? Slavery in 1865. What about the oppression after that? The Jim Crow and all that. The redlining.
Yeah.
The war, denying us voting rights and the war on cocaine, as you guys were just talking, and the policing, the stop and frisk, and Dion, ain't all of that more reason for us to not go against each other? If we look up and say, look at all this shit we've been through together, then why should we be against each other? That should give us more reason. Each other like how? Well, we shouldn't be killing each other. We shouldn't be robbing each other. We shouldn't be exploiting each other. Yeah, I agree.
So if we're gonna say use it for something, use it for motivation instead of an excuse. Say, you know what? We persevered all this shit. It's not. Hashtag not your enemy. That's what it means. Yes, but there's slavery. Yes, there was Jim Crowism. Yes, there was the crack epidemic. But none of that justifies the kind of shit that we do to each other now. None of it justifies our kids. None of it justifies our kids, especially in Milwaukee, with a 50% truancy rate. That means we ain't making sure our kids are getting to school. I ain't gonna just say y'all. We ain't making sure they get to school. Our literacy
so when you take
rate.
them to school and they walk right out the back door, then what?
Something's
You gotta
wrong.
sit there in the classroom with them.
No, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Then we should be screaming. We should be at school board meetings screaming for accountability from the top down, and we should be exercising that same accountability ourselves. I taught public school, Dion. I taught public school. So I don't know if you ever, I know you work in a school now, but I taught special education. I've taught school. Like I said, I've worked with juvenile justice. I've dealt with these families and these children. And I know there are a lot of families, because you even said we got working poor. If I got to get up and go to work, I got to work 3 jobs just so we can have somewhere to live. As my son, you telling me you don't respect me enough to get your ass up and go to school? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. And we only going to be able to deal with it collectively. Go ahead, Orlando.
Dion, are black people responsible for anything, bro?
In my eyes, to be perfectly honest with you, nope.
Okay.
we got responsible for our conditions. How we responsible for our conditions when we was redlined? How are we responsible for not having generational wealth? How are we responsible for being slaves and not giving anything? And the white man was given land 1846 Homestead Act where they could pass it down to their family. How?
Are you redlined?
Tell me that about.
Are you redlined?
Yeah, hell yeah, I was red. Yes, I was.
When was you
yes,
redlined?
I was redlined. My mother was redlined. My grandfather was redlined.
Where you live at right now?
It doesn't make any difference.
You overcame it. What do you mean?
It wasn't no generational wealth passed to me. You wouldn't have to get out here and sell drugs and go to prison.
So
you understand what I'm saying?
But you recovered.
Half of these white motherfuckers out here, they ain't have to go through that because they uncles and they had what they call the Homestead Act, where they got land from 1846, and their parents, their great-grandparents was able to get land, pass it down to their grandparents passed it down to their families were able to mortgage it off and give some to the family.
You said half of all white people? Hold on, Dion, think about what you're saying. You're saying half of all the white people in this country have had generational wealth passed to them. That's what you just said, half of them.
Listen.
That is so inaccurate. It's called a 1% for a reason.
Listen, just because we talking about the 1% is rich. You understand what I'm saying?
Even if we talk about generational wealth, there are a lot of white people who didn't get generational wealth, Dion. You can't say that.
I know a white man, right? I was sitting up talking to him. Didn't know. And then when you hear him talk, you know what I'm saying? You'll be like, well, woo, 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 woo. You know? And then so to come to find out, so this is how they did it. Like I said, with the Homestead Act. I don't know how many white families got land from the Homestead Act. Maybe if we could find that out, but best believe the ones that got land from the Homestead Act that was passed down, because we ain't gonna make it seem like slavery was that long ago. You understand? We could go back to maybe 3 generations. You feel what I'm saying? So if their great-grandparents got land,
how long is
then
the
they
generation?
passed it down to their grandparents, then their parents got land. This is land. This is land. We're the only people in the United States of America that didn't get anything. We were free with nothing.
I got land. I got land down south right now. I got land right now down south, passed down, but from my family who got it from their parents.
Your family bought the land.
Right, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's a lot of people. It's a lot of white Europeans that got land from the Homestead Act, though.
Go ahead.
You know dig this perspective. Like I agree with Dion somewhat, right? Because see, I feel like they all had a head start. I ain't gonna say that we still stuck to the point where, you know what I mean, we being redlined right now, because right now I feel like I could do anything I want to do. I'm past that. I done broke that barrier in my brain. You know what I mean? But I do feel like they all had a head start. Like Dion said, it was a lot of shit that we never had. You know what I mean? We never had the opportunity to get, you know what I'm saying, the land, all that shit back in the day. Our families never had nothing to pass down. You know what I'm saying? So like when they born nowadays, they born with a head start. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I feel like the disadvantage is. But I don't feel like, you know what I mean, be stuck in that.
Listen, I don't disagree with him in the fact that I believe white people are given a definite advantage.
Right.
Of course, we know that there's some white privilege. You're not gonna catch me denying that. What I'm saying is, we've had chances to change the narrative. I'm sitting right now, like I said, on third, fourth generation land that was purchased years before my parents was in our family, our black family, right? I had the opportunity to go and pursue education and try to empower myself, which I took advantage of, right? Some black people like yourself, Kamar, saw an opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to start my own business and create my own legacy. You took advantage of that. And even Dion, as pissed as he is, after he initially stumbled, said, I'm going to change the narrative here. Right. I am a homeowner. I am a tax-paying citizen, regardless of what happened years ago.
Right. You doing it now, nigga.
You're not redlined now.
You doing it now, nigga.
Right. So
you in the game.
Well,
that happened.
You in the game.
I would care if Jesus Christ came down here and told me something different. I feel like everything that we go through is because of the white man. I don't give a fuck what nobody say.
Say no more.
And that's just how I feel.
Say no more. Look here. We went over time. I appreciate y'all for coming tonight. Stuck in the system. Sir. I appreciate you, man. Share the show. We need more people to come on in and kick the tires on this thing. He said Vietnam was the reset. He said whoever tell you is a liar. We have to get into that at another time, my brother. Hopefully you'll come back and we chop it up some more. Maybe you'll jump on the jack with us and talk with us.
Every Monday and Wednesday at 7:30.
There you go. Every Monday and Wednesday, 7:30.
Yeah, I wish he would have came on to say how Vietnam was a reset. Make me understand that.
Orlando, shout out to you for coming on. The one thing about you is you drink the Kool-Aid, but you stand on it. You stand on yours. If I ask you to explain it, you explain it. But it's really just about having a conversation. I'm not in listen, the one thing I've made a commitment to myself on doing is I will never put down another black person. If I don't like you, I can dislike you from afar. If I don't rock with you, I will just not go around you. I'm not going to be spitting foul on other black people. I don't care if they're Democrats or Republicans. Now, once you show me that you're not for us, then I say, I don't fuck with dude. But I'm not going to call you all kinds of names and call you all kinds of different kind of terminologies. And that's the place we have to get to where we are cool with, like we say, we can agree to disagree on things. It doesn't always have to turn into, I'm going to beat your ass. That is the first step to achieving solidarity, the ability to coexist, whether a lot of people know that or not. But what it has to come down to is more accountability on our end. And once we are accountable, we can hold other people accountable, man. And that's the truth about it. Because we can't go harp on the white man. Oh, you did this, you did that. And then our community is in disarray. And we don't have no way of even controlling it. Even if we wanted to do a revolution right now, we're so undisciplined, we wouldn't even be able to accomplish one mission. We're easily divided, right? They could throw us crumbs and take half of our heads right then and there, right? Somebody gonna sell everybody the fuck out. A whole goddamn compound. So we got to focus on us. The focus has to be on us. Like I said, if you are that upset about what they've done to us in this country, then do something about it. Change the game, change the narrative. Refuse to be what they say you are. Either way it go, it's all about solidarity. And you have to understand when you look at another black man, I am not your enemy. I will see y'all Wednesday night, man. Peace out. Kamar, we'll chop it up some more about that idea, man. And just kind of brainstorm on some different things that we can do. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all be safe until Wednesday. Peace and love.
Peace.
Shout out to Dion, too. I don't want him to feel left out.